Gaming news today is all about the Xbox Showcase. I thought it was very strong. I said that I expected it to be between an 8 and a 9, and that's pretty much where it landed. Like an 8.5 is kind of the score that I would give it. It seems that a lot of people really enjoyed it, but as the dust was settling, people were noting that there was some stuff that was missing, and that's a cause for some concern about some of the titles, but there was definitely a big Easter egg from the man himself, Phil Spencer, so we're going to get into it. I want to walk through the good, the bad, and the MIA. There's almost no bad, just some minor things. It's almost entirely a good show, but then just thinking about why might some of the titles have skipped out. Now, I'm going to end the previous stream. It was a morning coffee segment that I do with my members. If you are a member here, you get to start your day with me in a segment. So consider supporting the channel directly by clicking that join button, and make sure you pick Member Plus. You get into morning coffee and the green room. Supporting on Twitch is just as easy. You can use your Twitch Prime or a manual sub, and when you do that, you'll never see an ad on Twitch. All right, so now listen, if I leave anything out in this list of good, it's not because I think it's bad, it just didn't really speak to me. So some things I'm going to kind of gloss over because they weren't really kind of my game. I don't have individual trailers for each of the things I'm going to talk about because there were so many things that I thought were really, really dope in the showcase. Like, honestly, too many to really talk about. So let's just talk about the good. First and foremost, I think Outer Worlds 2 looks fantastic. I thought the deep dive was great. They have put a ton of thought into this game. I thought the marketing was hysterical and well written. I think sometimes these events, they try to do things with humor and it tends to really fall flat. I actually thought it was very hilarious and very well done, and the game looks like it's really, really delivering an uptick compared to the last game, and I actually liked it. I liked the vibe, I liked the feel, the guns, everything. This seems like a game that I am going to enjoy. The other thing that I thought was a highlight of the show is a sequel to High on Life. That's actually coming out this year. I was actually kind of surprised, since they're aiming at winter, why they did a trailer that was all simulated gameplay. It was no real gameplay. That's a gorgeous looking game. It's a very unique looking game. I'm not quite sure why they did that. Being that they're targeting winter of this year for High on Life 2, that one might actually get delayed, given that this close to delivery, I would have assumed you would have had actual gameplay to show, and they didn't. Another really big highlight that unfortunately leaked before the show started was the Resonance, the Plague Tale game. You're going to play as the woman from the second game who helps you. It's going to serve as a prequel, so it does look like it's going to be a little bit more combat focused. She's got a sword, and there's some hand-to-hand combat that you're going to engage with. I absolutely loved the first Plague Tale as well as the sequel. Really, really enjoyed the sequel quite a bit. Actually rolled credits on that this year because they went back and added 60 FPS, and it was one of my favorite games this year. I think the storytelling and the voice acting is superb. So Resonance was a really, really nice surprise. Blood of the Dawnwalker also looked really, really good. A little rough when they were showing like actual in-engine animations, but nothing that was like alarming or bad. Just a little rough around the edges, which I think is probably okay for a game like that. Super Meat Boy 3D was another pleasant surprise. It was kind of like Super Meat Boy and Sackboy kind of like combined and smashed together and make for a really, really frenetic and crazy and, yes, very bloody and violent 3D platformer. There was also a game called Beast of Reincarnation that I thought looked incredible. And then for me, the big takeaway, the big sort of, I think this was kind of the show stealer, was Clockwork Revolution. Clockwork Revolution has an incredible vibe, and they clearly have built a lot of cool systems, from the crafting of the guns to the world itself, to the different things that you can do with time. It looks like it's going to be a very, very good game. It could be a game that contends for a lot of awards, from art style to direction to writing to performance. So I thought Clockwork Revolution was awesome. The only downside to the trailer was it looked like we were seeing a ton of actual in-game, in-engine gameplay and actual cutscenes and things that were ready to go. And they didn't even commit to next year, which is kind of a bummer. Like, if we actually don't see Clockwork Revolution until 2027, that would make for a very strange timing, which, again, is kind of par for the course for Xbox. We'll get into that when we talk about all the games that were missing. But I thought Clockwork Revolution completely stole the show for me. It was kind of the big one. Grounded 2 looks great. I know the first Grounded did really, really well. That's going to be one that the Xbox boys get to enjoy first, because it is going to go into the preview box. I'm sorry, the preview Game Pass thing they do. They do game preview. So I actually think that's a great game, and that's a great service to people that have Game Pass, like getting to do game preview. I hope more and more companies look into doing trials and demos and early access as a way of testing games out. We got to see more gameplay of Chronos: The New Dawn. It's sort of like the very sort of creepy, macabre, Dead Space-inspired game where you're like a traveler or something. Very, very cryptic sort of lore, but it looks really, really good. It was the most gameplay we've seen so far, and the big surprise for me with Chronos: The New Dawn is that they are targeting releasing this year in the fall. I did not expect that. I thought that was really, really exciting. That one seemed like it was going to be far out. Then there was Mudong Two Hearts. I think I'm saying that right. Mudong, something like that. Two Hearts. That one looked really, really interesting and really, really cool. Animo is going to be one that the Xbox boys get to enjoy. There were very, very few games. I think there were maybe 4 that didn't have a PlayStation 5 logo. One, obviously, Grounded 2 because of the early preview program. And then the Animo game looks like another sort of collect 'em all cute game that looks really, really good. At Fate's End, I thought that one looked incredible. That one stood out to me as well. The Gears remaster was another really big highlight for me. That looks really, really good. That was the first game I played on my Xbox 360. I got back into console gaming with the 360 because I wanted to play Gears of War and Call of Duty 4. And I couldn't play them on my PC at the time. I didn't feel like upgrading. It was cheaper to just buy an Xbox. I bought an Xbox 360. I still remember playing Gears of War on this big projection TV. It was the first apartment I had with my wife like 18 years ago, and I absolutely loved it. So seeing the first Gears in really, really high-def graphics, I mean, I was excited. I was kind of geeking out. And I know there's a beta coming. I'm not a PvP guy, but we'll just have to boot it up and try it out because it looks really, really good. I thought the Final Fantasy XVI Shadow Drop was great. Big win for the Xbox guys that have been waiting for that title. I rolled credits on FF16 this year. It got a little long in the tooth at the end. Some of the fights were just like eternal, but graphically, story-wise, it's just an epic game. In some respects, it's kind of unmatched in some of those fights and things. Like, it's absolutely incredible. I still wish the performance was better, but it is what it is. Keeper also looked really, really cool from Double Fine. And then they ended the show with Black Ops 7, and people are split on this, but I got excited because as soon as I saw the monitors, I thought the numbers, Mason. I maintain to this day that Black Ops 1 is the best story ever in a Call of Duty campaign. It was fabulous. It was so well done. The twist at the end was just marvelous. And so them bringing that back got me really excited. I'm sorry, nostalgia might be overriding critical thinking here, but I was excited for Black Ops 7. I love seeing the guy from Heroes, as a main protagonist. So I'm pumped, okay? So that was, to me, a great closer. People are pretty split on it, all right? Now let's talk about the bad. That's all the good. Let's talk about the bad. There's only 2 things that I took issue with. Number 1, using Hollow Knight Silk Song in the way they did. You're about to see it on this handheld. I did not like that. I thought that was kind of irritating. You also had Sarah Bond kind of vaguely confirm that Hollow Knight's coming this year. I don't know what the deal is with that. Why wouldn't you just include a trailer of Hollow Knight, show us some new gameplay, and then say 2025? Like, you don't have to commit to a date yet. That's fine. if Team Cherry's not ready to commit to a date. But we are now once again dealing with Xbox being the one to basically say that Hollow Knight's coming like they did last time. And that was like 3 years ago when they said everything shown in the showcase is coming in the next 12 months. And they confirmed on Twitter that Hollow Knight was coming, and then it wasn't. Like, I don't like Xbox announcing the release date vaguely of a game that's highly anticipated. So I think that was a negative. I don't think that they should have done that. If you're not ready to do an official trailer and an official release announcement, then don't include it at all, okay? Second thing to me that was bad is I don't think this handheld has any draw to me at all. I don't know if this handheld's going to have significant draw in the market at all. It's an Asus ROG with a more stripped down, UI, an operating system, and an Xbox button on it. I don't get it. I don't know what the demand of this thing is going to be. I get including it, but this was not a high point for me. I don't care about this. I don't think a lot of gamers are going to care about this, especially given the Xbox loyal, just how much they feel sort of abandoned on the console and how they basically did nothing this gen for the Series X that they promised. hardware for me is just such a non-starter with Xbox now. So those were kind of the two negatives from the show. Now let's talk about, excuse me. Now let's talk about the MIA. There were a lot of things missing from this show. I'm going to start with Fable. Okay, I'm going to start with Fable because I told people I didn't think Fable would be there. It would be a bit of a sour note to include it in the showcase because it got delayed out of this year. You don't want to bring that out and talk about it again. Everybody was really excited for Fable. They kept showing us trailers. Everybody kept insisting that the trailers contained gameplay. I kept saying that they didn't contain gameplay. And then they showed us pre-alpha footage that basically proved me right. They have not been showing us actual gameplay. They've been showing us simulated gameplay. So I don't think it was the right time to show Fable. I think that was the right call to not show Fable. Now, the rest of these are a little different. Gears of War E-Day being absent and only mentioned in name by Phil, I totally get why they're doing that. I think they want the focus to be on the Gears of War remake. You get a bunch of people to buy that, and you get a bunch of people on PlayStation to buy that, and then you can start really pushing Gears of War E-Day later. So that one, again, makes sense to me. Halo wasn't there. Again, I get why not. It's very, very early in dev. They just announced very recently, the switch to the Halo studio, and they're going to switch engines. And again, Phil Spencer seems to hint that Halo is coming next year, and that's people are theorizing that's the Combat Evolved remake. Forza wasn't there, but it kind of was. It got mentioned by Phil. So I think all of these ones sort of make sense. Like if they didn't have anything substantive to say, you let Phil kind of make assurances that these things are coming. The absence, however, of Perfect Dark and State of Decay 3, I think was a real bummer for a lot of people. State of Decay 3 devs literally tweeted a cryptic image on Twitter in the lead up to this event and got everybody super excited, and then they were totally absent, and I think people were understandably frustrated by that. It's like, you guys announced this like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, where is it? What's going on? It might even be longer than that by now. I actually don't know what the timeline is exactly, but it's been around 5 years or more that they announced State of Decay 3. That's a long time to have literally nothing. Like, people have been complaining about Wolverine, but State of Decay 3 has been even longer with an announcement and basically nothing since. Perfect Dark, again, I think they just keep getting ahead of themselves. I think they keep showing stuff to excite people rather than showing stuff within the window of time that makes the most sense. Like the Perfect Dark gameplay to me was totally simulated. It wasn't real. They did that just to get everybody excited, and that game is probably not even coming out next year. So they announced something in 2024 that's not going to show up for a minimum of like 3 years, which again is just a very, very strange way to market games now. I think marketing windows should be a lot smaller. That's just my opinion, but that's how I think that they should be doing it. And then Contraband and Everwild were also absent. Again, these are two games we've known about for quite a while and nothing. Now, someone in chat saying no Blade. That again makes sense to me. That's one that they announced, and then I don't think they should really do anything with it until they have something substantive to show. But yes, Blade was also absent. We've not known about Blade for nearly as long as Everwild and State of Decay 3 and some of the others. Now, Phil's Easter egg did, I think, really get people excited, maybe even more excited than the Call of Duty trailer, because he said that a classic will be returning that's been with us since the beginning, some sort of a phrase like that. I'm kind of paraphrasing him. And people think that he's talking about Halo, the Halo CE remake. He also confirmed that, yes, Gears of War E-Day and a new Forza are coming next year. So even though there were some titles that were missing and people are kind of bummed about that, I think it was an absolute banger of a show. I think it was a total win for Xbox. Yes, like basically 95% of the trailers had a PS5 logo at the end. I know people are parading that around and trying to like rub it in people's faces because they're still console warring. We knew this was going to happen. Phil let everybody know you were going to see those logos, and it was the vast majority of the titles. And that's just where we are. That's where Xbox has come. That's where the brand has landed, which is one of the reasons why I'm just not really sure their future hardware endeavors are going to yield much of a return, because you have basically abandoned your brand, platform, idea, and identity, and what's left is something that's very, very nebulous and constantly shifting and very malleable. And I think it's hard for customers and consumers to develop a sense of loyalty to that. It's like, what am I loyal to? What am I actually buying? An Asus ROG that got Xbox stuff on it? Like, I think their identity has been pretty harmed by what they've done which I think will in turn affect how well these things sell. I could totally be wrong, but I don't think the handheld market is even that big in demand to begin with. And number two, I just don't think the consumer base of gamers and Xbox fans are going to be, coming out of their skin for this stuff. So I could be totally wrong. We'll see how it turns out. But that's my thoughts. That is my thoughts on the entire show and how it went. I thought it was great. I thought it was a total win. I'm trying to shrink. Oh wait, hang on. That's the wrong thing. I'm doing a very different setup today with my monitors. It'll allow me to gift members easier. I just have to get used to which keyboard and which mouse to use. All my muscle memory is backwards. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I want to know what you guys thought about the show. I appreciate you being here so much. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my, I'm going to show only on one. Yeah, keep these changes. I don't need my Elgato on anymore. PlayStation, Sony's business meetings will be held June 13th. Okay, so in a couple of days. I'm really interested to see if they talk about their PC strategy and if it's changing or anything like that. Let me see if I have anybody to thank. I do have some people to thank. Life Flows. Han shot first, and so did you. Thank you so much for doing the first membership of the day renewal, a member plus. Let's add that to the total, but then I got another one to add. That's a nice setup. We're at 170. We are at 170. So thank you so much for doing that. And that means a 5 bomb for the next milestone, and that could be taken by anybody. So right now, if anybody drops a 5 bomb, I owe your platform 5 members. So it's a race. Twitch or YouTube, who's going to do it? And a super chat comes in from Super Googly. ROG Xbox Ally looked interesting until I find out there's no OLED. They're probably trying to keep the cost down. I mean, that's basically the very, very similar to what they did with the Nintendo Switch 2. You're trying to keep those prices down. You're trying to get them, they probably want it to be in a more, as affordable as possible. Mash says, I thought the show was great. Missing Fable, Perfect Dark, and Blade. Of those, for me, Perfect Dark is my most anticipated game. Overall, 8 out of 10 for me, says Mash. And here, we got people submitting questions, so let me get that up on the screen for you. It looks like we've had just one today submitted. Are you the one doing it? Yeah, Kino Man Sky. Just making sure they're actually coming through. Kino Man Sky says, is it just me, or the future game show and Xbox Showcase were really good compared to Summer Game Fest, maybe even better? Maybe I'm wrong, or the games in them were more targeted to my taste. It's probably more about taste than anything, because I actually thought Future Game Show was totally good. I love their shows, but I thought Jeff Keighley's event was top notch. I give both him and Xbox like the exact same score, like an 8.5. They were just great events. Very consistent, very exciting. State of Play, I think, was weaker. I think State of Play was like a 7. Again, I didn't like what they did with Yote. I thought that was a bad idea. But State of Play won the day for a lot of people with that fighting game. That, for many people, that turned the entire show around. So it's like, that just didn't land on me. Do you see, like, personal taste is always going to play a factor. Like, the fighting game made people, like, almost wet themselves with excitement, and I was just kind of like, hey, that's a big win for Sony from a business perspective. Like, that's the level of excitement you got from me. $5 super chat tip from Owen Knight says, Microsoft dropping platform exclusivity is the smartest thing they could do. Microsoft does software. Consoles have always been a loss leader. And then a VIP renewal from J-Dog, 38 months. Anyone play Splitgate 2 this weekend? Really enjoying it so far. Great streams this weekend. Have a great week. Thank you, J-Dog. And 13 months from Sirio and a member plus says Xbox better. And that's going to move the member count by 2. You guys just letting this milestone dangle here. I thought somebody was surely going to take it. Just slam that 5 bomb home, and I owe you those members. Oh, wait, maybe Twitch did. No, Twitch did not. Okay. This is going to be really hard for me with how I have this set up. I've got to get that combo chat application on my gaming rig because that's how I'm reading chat now. And a question comes in from, and a 5-bomb comes in from Sirio, and he secures it. And PWH Town says, do you think Sony Live Service should be them partnering with devs and publishing? The Marvel game will be huge. I have said that since we learned about Bluepoint and Bend having their live service games canceled. I have said since that moment that stop having your single player devs try to build live service. It's a stupid idea. It's absolutely stupid. Don't do it. You're better off going to people who already know how to do it and working with them, which is what they're doing. Live service games, fighting games especially, can have really long tails and lots of content and seasons and characters, and it can generate a stupid amount of money. And guess what? PlayStation didn't have to have one of their first-party developers who are better at making single-player games try to build it. They're getting to go to experts in the field, which is going to result in you getting a great game. That's a recipe for success. What they've been doing up to now is just not a recipe for success. It's clear that it's not a recipe for success. You're going to have a much harder time. You're going to have a much harder time getting one of your single player studios to hit the ball out of the park. The odds are not in your favor. The odds are not in your favor. Did Microsoft try that with Killer Instinct? I mean, yeah, I guess. Guys on YouTube, make sure you're hitting the like button. Let's go for 200 likes super, super fast. Xbox is here to stay, and yesterday was a clear indication. Yeah, they're here to stay as a publisher. They're not here to stay as a platform. Homie, if you got anything from that Xbox game showcase, you should get that, they're all about playing anywhere now. That's them telling you, we're not really platform focused. We are game focused. We are publishing focused now. They shouted from the rooftops in that showcase, hey, we're all about putting the games everywhere. So, yeah, they're here to stay as basically a publisher. That's a good thing. It's a good thing depending on how you look at it. It's a good thing depending on how you look at it. People who have been very, very loyal to that console do not feel the same way. They don't. They feel like they are being betrayed. I said at the beginning of this year, this would be Xbox's best year this gen. I said it would be their best year this gen, and it would be a real sour taste for the Xbox loyal because it's the year that they're putting everything everywhere. They're not even focused on their platform anymore. PlayStation can't publish games like Xbox. They are clearly taking over the software space. This is simply untrue. What you're saying is false. PlayStation's publishing just as many, if not more, games than Xbox. We compiled a list, and this list is going to be slightly outdated. But let me just show you this. I've shown this to people before, and you're falling under this delusion because Xbox overwhelms their showcases with first party that they're publishing way more. These are PlayStation first party announced games. So these are either first party studios, first party IPs, or games that are being published by Sony. Look how long the list is. Now, these are Xbox first party announced games. Look how long the list is. Now, this needs updated, but at the time that we did this, it was clear this notion that Xbox is putting out way more games, it is simply untrue. Update the list. I'll have to do that later. I don't want to do that right now. It's very distracting. We're going to have a conversation and I don't want to be typing. But the point is you can't act like, oh yeah, PlayStation's not publishing a lot of games. It's like, yes, they are. Their approach is different. One approach is buy a bunch of studios. Yeah, I finished Doom. I did not like the ending. I thought it was starting to feel a whole lot more like Doom, and the last 3 levels I did not like that much. I liked the game overall, but I did not like how it ended. Yo, John Lepkowski, thank you so much for gifting a member, bumping the line by 1. He might be trying to tee something up here. Somebody get ready. Get your 20 bombs ready. I agree the approach is different. And there's no way to argue which one's better. I actually think you can. I think you can argue that PlayStation has a more efficient spend. They spend way less, and yet they're publishing a similar amount of games. Xbox spent a ridiculous amount of more money, And they're publishing arguably the same amount, if not a little bit less when you look at it. Because if you add in China Hero, India Hero, Mina Hero, and then all the second and third party games that they work on when they publish them, it's like PlayStation's spending less money. A $5 super chat from Sirius says, everything Xbox does is ahead of the curve, but they've never won a generation. Strange. Guys, double check right now that YouTube has saved your like. I'm going to check it on my end as well. I'm going to pull up the stream and make sure likes are updating and saving. It's been really, really squirrely lately. Let's hit 200 before we get to 30 minutes. I've only been live for like 25 minutes. You guys are crushing it. They're pushing away from Xbox. That show yesterday tells you that. Yeah, like people are obviously making the joke in chat that the Xbox showcase was like a second state of play. I get that you're being cheeky, but it's hard to argue with that. Like, how many times did we see the PS5 logo? How many times? I wrote it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And 21. So let's just say 20. Roughly 20 times you saw the PlayStation 5 logo yesterday. Like, again, if you're like super Xbox loyal, I don't see how you can be like, yeah, that's not a big deal. That's totally fine. Like, it's a complete abandonment of what they started this gen on. You just have to admit that. Like, that's not hate. That's just an honest summary. A member light from Bronco. Thank you so much. You guys, when you do a brand new sub, you want to pick Member Plus, Member Light. I'm not going to be able to distinguish you next month from... I forgot to add Sirius 5 to the battle. I'm not going to be able to distinguish you from a gifted member next month, Bronco. If you upgrade, I'll let you double dip. I count upgrades as 2. I'll let you do that right now if you do it. I just want to make sure you're in the appropriate member bucket. You literally won't get into streams if you're not on Member Plus. There are green room streams you won't have access to. It's $1 more, but it's the only way I can distinguish between gifted members and paying members. And guys, as you're typing in chat, as you're lurking, as you're listening, give that like button a smack. We once again, the like count moved by like 3. That can't be right. Something doesn't seem to be working. Double check it. I'm not pissed because it's more places I can play, and it looks like a ton of great games coming to Game Pass and Cloud. This guy says stop LARPing as a bottom. I don't know why you're saying that. If you're gonna come in here and just talk nasty, you have a badge that you probably didn't pay for if you're talking like that. My community doesn't speak in a disrespectful way to me like that, so you can leave. Xbox rely on crappy indie platformers that were outdated 20 years ago. What are you talking about? What do you mean? They had so many big, huge games. Are you insane? Like, listen to my list of things that stood out to me from the showcase. Outer Worlds 2, High on Life 2, Resonance, the Plague Tale game, Blood of the Dawnwalker, Super Meat Boy 3D, Beast of Reincarnation, Clockwork Revolution, Grounded 2, Chronos the New Dawn, Mudang 2 Hearts, Animo, At Fate's End, Gears Remaster, the FF16 drop, Keeper, Black Ops 7. What are you even talking about? There it is, Bronco. Thank you for doing that. I know that's a pain in the butt. I appreciate it so much. So we're going to count that as a double. Welcome back. We are now exactly 20 away from the next milestone. This is a perfect time to steal, Twitch. You'll jump ahead in the member battle, and you'll steal the 5 gifted members that I owe. I already owe 5. I don't think I've done it yet. It's easier for me to do it now with this new streaming setup. No, just kidding. I can't gift. What the frick? So it's because it's popped out, I can't gift. I thought it was going to let me gift because I'm on my gaming rig now, and I'm not in the dashboard of the stream. I still am going to have to pop out the stream and do it manually. That's so weird. Ain't playing none of those games. Okay, let me ask you something, Killmonger. At the risk of wasting my time, I'm gonna attempt to have a conversation with you. What in the world are you looking forward to then? I listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I listed 16 games, all of them actually quite different. And you're like, I'm not interested in any of those 16 games. Okay, I need to know what you're looking forward to and what games that you play. What have you been playing this gen? Like, I genuinely think a lot of you don't game anymore. You hang out in gaming spaces and basically you bitch. Like, that's your identity in the gaming world now. I think a ton of people, that's what you do. You hang out in gaming spaces and you bellyache. Resident Evil 9, The Expanse, GTA 6, Metal Gear Solid, and more. I don't understand how none of those things appeal to you. How do none of those things appeal to you if you're looking forward to... Where'd his list go? Shoot, I lost it in the chat. My text size is a little bit different than normal. Resident Evil 9, The Expanse, GTA 6, and Metal Gear Solid. And you're looking forward to all those games, but you're not looking forward to any of the ones I listed. Blood of the Dawnwalker, Beast of Reincarnation, Chronos: The New Dawn. I don't understand. What drives your interest in a game? How, like, I'm not trying to tell you should be excited about those games. I'm just amazed that you'll live without playing those. I mean, I guess, but like, I'm just kind of confused. I don't know. Everybody's got their own tastes, but to sit down in a stream with like a barrage of 25 games and like 15 of them stood out to me. 15 stood out to me, and you're like, yeah, I don't care about none of those. It's like, man, maybe you're just really hard to please. It sounds like maybe it's more of a you problem than an industry problem or a game problem. Xbox just keeps showing stuff we already know about. So what? What do you mean? Why is that a problem? Of course, like the like Clockwork Revolution, yeah, we already knew about it, but it was great. We got to see a ton of the game. Oh, you cuss old JK. Yeah, thank you, Alex, for the 2 spots. Sorry, guys. I try to keep it safe for work. But I just feel like that's what a lot of people do now. I've seen Chronos like 3 times now, for example. We've barely seen Chronos, Eugene. I don't agree with that. We have barely seen Chronos. We've seen like really, really quick shots. I mean, really quick clips. That was a really, really nice, long look at Chronos. Guys, we're almost at 200 likes. Do me a favor, man. Smack it. We are so close. We got to get that like count up fast. It really helps. I'm just upset that I bought a Pro and the newest first-party game I have is Astrobot. I want more PlayStation games. Okay, so you bought a PlayStation 5 Pro and you don't care that, Doom the Dark Ages was enhanced, AC Shadows was enhanced. They were highly praised. AC Shadows especially was highly praised for how gorgeous it was on the Pro. I don't understand. You bought a Pro and all you care about is first-party titles when you already knew the first-party title lineup for this year was going to be later in the year. We all knew that Yote and Death Stranding 2 from very early on were not going to be early this year. Death Stranding 2 is right around the corner, and then there's Lost Soul Aside, and then there's Yote. That's 3 first-party games this year. And while you've had to wait, there have been great games to play on the Pro. AC Shadows looked incredible. He may be like me. He's got a PC for the bulk of his gaming. He just wants the Pro for Sony bangers. I mean, that honestly, I think that's fair, but that seems like maybe you should have done better due diligence and waited to buy one. I mean, you've got it, and you're ready for when Death Stranding 2 drops in like 17 days. Joker Quinn gifts a member. Thank you so much for bumping the line, Joker Quinn. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're like Zubair and you don't really game on the Pro, you just got it for first party, Again, it sounds like you just should have done better research. That's not Sony's fault. It sounds like it's your fault. I feel like you guys are either coming to the showcases with weird expectations, or in this case, you're buying a piece of hardware and you didn't do proper research. Subair says, I'm still waiting to get one. Yote's going to have to sell me. I think that's totally fair to say, I primarily play on PC. I'm going to wait on the Pro until they really convince me with first-party games. Because, like, if you don't want to wait on Death Stranding 2 or Yote, that's going to be pretty compelling if they come out and they look as amazing I'm anticipating they look. I actually think Yote will sell you. Seemingly, it seems that you're not going to be able to do it. Death Stranding might not do it. Did I type my question incorrectly? DJ, I don't have one from you. You have to type ! question and then your question. We got the Chronos reveal back in April, and it was like a 2-minute trailer. Yeah, but it was all quick clips. Super Googly with the super chat says, can't wait to play games from the State of Play and the Xbox Showcase on my 5090. For Death Stranding 2, Yote, and GTA 6, I will have to settle with the Pro. Why do we still not have a date on Chronos? Well, they said that they're targeting fall. I'll tell you why. Do you want to know why? GTA 6. They probably made that trailer before GTA 6 got delayed, homie, and they were like, we're not going to pick a date until GTA 6 announces their date. So more than likely, I would think that's why a lot of games were like, did you see how many games are in September? I think everybody was landing in September because that's the end of the summer, and they were like, we do not want to land in the fall with GTA 6. So September became a dumping ground for games. Like, everything's launching there. Dan with 23 months says, as someone who owns a Pro as well as a Series X, all those games coming out on Game Pass makes it look like an even better deal to enjoy. This is going to be Game Pass's best year. That's undeniable. You can't really deny the year that Game Pass is having. You know, if you're getting day and date, you don't have enough time to play all the games you're getting. I want to amend my ask. I want Sony bangers without creepy babies. The baby is not creepy. The baby's not creepy. He's just in a little container. I have a Pro and I'll be playing everything on Game Pass. What? So you bought a $700 console, but you're worried about being frugal, and so you're not going to play Gears, PS5 Pro Enhanced, or Doom, or any of the other titles? I don't understand. That is, why'd you buy the Pro? The Pro is like a big, like, very fringe luxury purchase. That seems kind of strange. You bought a Pro to not use it? What are you going to do with it? You bought it for the PlayStation exclusives. I guess. That's just really expensive in my mind. Like, the value return on that. I mean, I guess Zubair's waiting to see if he's going to do that. The value return on that seems really low. To buy the Pro and to not turn it on and not use it for games that are PS5 Pro Enhanced, and you're like, I'm only going to use it for exclusives. Good golly, that's a really expensive purchase for like 3 games a year, roughly. What's expensive is dropping $80 per game on PlayStation. What games are you talking about? Because Xbox is the one that raised their prices. Oh, you mean the Xbox games on PlayStation at $80. Is that what you mean, Illuminati? No, I wasn't considering that. DJ Shenanigan, it's ! Question. That you can't put a space. You've got to put ! Question. Like, literally, the exclamation point and question have to be touching. I hadn't considered that Xbox raising their prices to $80 on like a game like Outer Worlds 2 might drive a multi-console owner to say, I'm just going to play Outer Worlds 2 on Game Pass instead of my PlayStation 5 Pro. No, yeah. I didn't consider that. I could totally see somebody being like, yeah, that's not worth it. Certain games, you're just like, yeah, I'm not paying $80 for that. Thank you for a gifted Dylan. Bumping the member battle to an even 20. And then the member count jumping to 183. Thank you so much. We're well ahead this week. You guys are doing great. I spent $350 on my Pro. I traded my PS5 and some older games in. So to you, it was just an upgrade for the first-party PlayStation games, and you primarily play on your PC. Well, that actually makes way more sense to me now. Like, you were like, I want to play Yote and have it look amazing, or Death Stranding 2 and have it look amazing. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. Upgrading early actually makes sense, too, because the value of the PS5 is probably worth more in those early days compared to later. So that actually makes your decision makes way more sense now that you've explained it further. We've had some people come in and say some wild things before, and sometimes it's like, is this are you trolling? Like, and I wasn't sure if you were trolling. So no, your decision makes a ton more sense now. I had the same complaint about not having more bangers, but I didn't say it as cranky, says Zubair. I have a PC and I don't have Game Pass. I buy my games. I really had to narrow it down. These are my top. Out of Words and Resonance. There was another stop motion title, but Out of Words seemed cool. Oh, are you talking about Keeper, the one from Double Fine, Sven? A big super chat from Super Googly. Says, I wouldn't call the PS5 Pro a luxury. I bought it mainly for bragging rights, not going to lie. But it turned out to be a convenient addition. Sometimes I would buy a game again on the Pro so I can press a button and play it on my 83-inch OLED. Yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. Guys, Feed doesn't have a badge. We cannot abide that on YouTube. We got to take care of this man. Hang on. Let me do this very, very quickly so the question queue is basically reset. I posted a bit more detail, says Dalton in chat, but could Phil have been hinting at another franchise other than Halo? We already know about the Halo Combat Evolved remake, so why say it so cryptically? We don't already know about it. It was a leak. So him saying it cryptically is actually on brand as a tease. Like that's exactly what you would do in this stage of the marketing. You would tease it. You don't let leaks determine your marketing. Typically you don't. Cold Slither with a VIP. Thank you so much for adding to the member count. 184 on the week. When you guys get to 500, you unlock a Friday night stream with Madam, and then after that, we start piling on the stretch goals. I'm working on a song right now for Friday night, and a 5-bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix. This guy has been so insanely generous. If you got a gifted member last week, it was probably because of Pathalon Phoenix or MASH. Those two guys went absolutely bonkers. Make sure and say thank you to them when you get a gifted. Somebody asked me a question over here on Twitch. Hang on. If he wants first party, ask why did he get PlayStation Extra first party title, and then he plays any of them. Ask him, please. What are you saying? If he wants first party, ask, did he get PlayStation Extra? No, he's talking about new first party games, Collide. We need to have a Siberia series on Game Pass. What are you talking about? And a 20 bomb from MASH. Let's see if we can get Feed added to the total. And once again, if there's just a couple of people absent, we don't see Twitch put up much of a fight in the contest. Thank you so much, MASH. There he is, taking over the chat. Hit that like. Hit the like button. The official Xbox website now shows PlayStation platform logo as ways to play. So Hasdor is tweeting this. Ways to play. Game Pass. Get off. Get off. Go away. What the frick? I don't care. Go. Get. Stop it. I wanted you. What? Why would you do? What? I'm just trying to zoom in on the picture. That is so annoying. Old man yelling at clouds. Oh my gosh. That is. Oh. Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox PC, Battle.net, Steam, PlayStation. There you go. This Elon, fix it. Frick. So dumb.
I got an idea. When someone clicks on an image to zoom in on it so I can see the image better, let's put an overlay right on top of the image, and it just stays there. Just never goes away. It's permanent. You idiots. So dumb. Why are dumb people always with a southern accent? I don't know. Ask Southerners. I live in Kentucky. Just chill. Just chill. Wilbur with a single gifted, and a 20 bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix. Look at that. The battle is afoot once again. So the 210 becomes a 230. And we are exactly 20 away from the next milestone. Thank you so much. Zubair says, I've never agreed with Lono more in my life. As a Texan cowboy, I take no offense. Do you have KFC in Kentucky? We do. Lono's from Ohio. He can't say that. Hey. Shh. Don't be. No. It's like you're trying to blow up the rap star that didn't actually grow up on the streets. Don't do that to me. Don't bring out the lore tapes on me, okay? I have lived in Kentucky longer than I lived in Ohio. I now claim Kentucky, okay? Sneaky Wolf says, you may not know this if you're new here, but that's Lono's real voice. Thank you for the $5 super chat tip. And thank you again, Pathalon Phoenix, for dropping that 20 bomb. I think I owe you guys 10 now. Yeah. I owe YouTube 10. And Twitch, come on, answer back. Okay, hang on. I gotta pull up the stream. I gotta do background song, please. You're not getting a song just because we had a couple of 20 bombs. The songs are reserved for Friday nights as a stretch goal. I'm writing one right now for Friday. We'll see if it's ready. How can we make money the easy way just like you? I mean, if you think what I'm doing is easy, then do it. Just do it if it's easy. Maybe in the green room somebody will pick up on it. For some reason I thought overvolting gave you faster rise times, but in undervolting lower rise times. Oh, Zubair will have to answer your questions about undervolting because I still don't understand it. But, yeah. I wish I had your job. I have a lot of kids and folks that they sort of covet the life of the YouTuber and the life of the streamer. There is a beauty in the simplicity of traditional employment, let me tell you, okay? Every job has its ups and downs, and believe you me, I love what I do, but I'm here to tell you, it's not this dream that people think it is. It's freaking work. It's stressful. It's, everything's on you. It can be all consuming if you let it. I keep clicking on the wrong member gifting tier. I need a 10 bomb. Guys, keep smashing the like button, by the way. Let's try to get to 300. I respect Lono, but I don't ever want his job. Yeah, it can not only can it be stressful, like you are constantly attacked and maligned and called names just because you don't agree on certain things. Like it can be a lot. It's not. I think people think it's this big glamorous thing, and I love it, but it's not this glamorous, opulent life of luxury and ease that people think it is. It just, I'm on my couch working at 7:30 every morning, and I'm not upstairs until 6. Like, that's a pretty long work day, and then I also have to work on Sundays, and sometimes I have to work in the evenings, and sometimes I have to take phone calls and work on things out of those hours as well. Like, it's a lot. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you the full scope of the picture. Like, it's not this easy breezy thing that people think it is. Your job is probably hard. Your channel could fail immediately if you just get lazy. For sure. You take your foot off the gas. I mean, you always have to be working. Even when I take a vacation, I have to be paying attention to stuff. And I mean, over the weekend, like Friday, I streamed for like 14 hours. That was a 14-hour day. And then yesterday, whatever we did, it was like it was basically a 9 to 5 stream. So none of what I'm saying is complaining. If it gets clipped and turned into complaining, I'm not complaining. I'm simply giving you the full picture. If you think it's this easy breezy, wonderful thing, it's like, it is freaking work. And a lot of people try to do it and fail or don't make very good money. It can be extremely stressful. One of the reasons I'm very transparent with you guys, I'm like, this is a fan-funded operation. It's fan-funded. Like, I don't make ad revenue to support the fam. You guys support this. Like, that's why I'm like, please get on a Member Plus. Please get out of the gifted pool. Like, having a larger group of people who are directly supporting and not relying on, like, 10 to 20 people to go crazy with gifteds. Like, we're trying to move that needle and shape that culture because... it's the apex fallacy. You only see successful streamers. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And a lot of the folks that you see that are really successful at it, they seem like they're phoning it in. Because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of the really big established streamers are phoning it in now because they can. They've made millions of dollars and they're so large that they can just sort of phone it in. And you can be critical of that, but they've kind of earned the right to do that. They were early adopters. They worked really, really hard. They made hay while the sun was shining. And, now they can kind of enjoy the fruit of that work. So, yeah. Anyways, click the like button, boys. Let's get back to the discussion here. You can submit questions with the question command, and you can help us get to 300 likes. That'll help the video a ton. If you haven't hit subscribe yet or follow on Twitch, consider doing that. It's a Monday through Friday podcast discussion about the gaming industry, and I keep it safe for work. So a lot of people throw me on in the background of their day and treat me like a radio show so they can just sort of be tuned into what's going on in the world of gaming. You see that Microsoft replied to the rumors about PlayStation blocking their games from the handheld? Well, I don't think you could block them from the well, I mean, they could. I don't think they're going to block them from the handheld. I think if they do a console PC hybrid, that's when I think you would get PlayStation's attention. PlayStation would say, that's at odds with our strategy. I don't think it's at odds with their strategy for it to work on a handheld, because the handheld is essentially a PC. Yo, Joker Quinn, one of the kings of the single gifted, he bumps the member line by 1. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think you play Zelda all day, as other games are very difficult for you. Okay. If you're here to try to like get a reaction because there's people that clip me and make fun of me for quote unquote being bad at games, homie, I don't take pride in my skill in video games because I'm not pathetic. Like, I'm really sorry to break that to you. Like, there's just... like, cool, man. You're good at video games. No one in the real world cares. Super Googly with the super chat says, we disagree on a lot of things, but you are one dedicated streamer. Always fills the void while watching soap opera with my girlfriend with AirPods on one side, listening to all your BS. Googly. Shut the frick up, Googly. Anyway, DK Baker with a gifted. He's the other. He is the other king of the single gifted. He's like, are my ears burning? He's like, oops. He's like, did you just call Joker Quinn the king of the single gifted? DK Baker, one of the originals, always in here dropping those single gifteds. Gaby card is the most embarrassing thing imaginable. The thing is getting like an ego about beating games that are designed to be beat. It's like, I beat Sekiro. It didn't give me an ego. It trained me to know that those games aren't really for me because I really don't have the patience for it. It's not a matter of skill. Like, you're not going to beat Ishin in 5 hours. You're not going to beat most Sekiro bosses in an hour if you suck at video games. But when I did that and I rolled credits on Sekiro, it was like, yeah, these games are just not for me. I don't like to have a play session end in failure. That to me triggers something in my brain that leads to dissatisfaction. There are people who are wired differently than me, and they think taking multiple days to beat a boss in a game like that is like super satisfying and some massive achievement. And I'm like, that sounds like utter misery to me. I would never do that. I would never do that. I'm not sure if that guy is still in chat, but I stand with him. I plan to get a PS5 Pro, and I'm only going to play PlayStation exclusive on it because everything else I can play on my 4090. Yeah, and I think that sentence makes perfectly good sense, Insomniac Black. Zubair is basically waiting to see if Yote compels him to buy a Pro. This is why I love Lono. For as much as he's into the video game culture, he is one of the few content creators who realizes that none of this matters in the real world. Which I really truly mean this. I really truly mean this. You gotta have community. There are people in our Discord that like that's their community. This is their home. This is their homies. It's the people they hang out with. And I think that just grounds you more in reality. So you don't act like these things matter. Like, oh, but he's not good at games. It's like, who determines that, and why does that even matter? Like, if I was here trying to sell myself as a pro gamer and like faking you out with footage and misleading you, well, then you could say he's a con man, he's a grifter, he's bad at games. But it's like, it's truth in advertising. It's like, I approach conversations and I think about the common man. I think about the common player. I think about the workaday dads and the workaday moms and the busy college students. The more average Joe gamers. That's exactly what I focus on when I cover Destiny. And I think that's appealing. I think people are frustrated by the fact that like that's actually appealing. Like they think that like your only appeal in gaming is to be really, really good. And it's like, okay. I mean, there are certainly players that do that. Like that's what they do. They are really good at games and that's what they sell you. I've never tried to sell myself as like a pro level gamer. I always talk about how bad I am at certain games or how I'm just, those games just aren't for me. Like I would never be able to hold my own in like a fighting game or something. So it's like, you beat Returnal. Seems like you might be okay at games. Yeah, if you beat games like Returnal and Sekiro and Elden Ring, you clearly have the ability to play games. It's all about drive and desire. I do not have the drive and the desire to spend my evenings trying to figure out the swamp monster in Lies of P. It doesn't speak to me at all. I just get irritated. I'm like, I'm just gonna go play Expedition 33. I'll play Mario Kart with my wife. You know, I'll play Child of Light with my wife rather than sit here and beat my head against a boss in a game. Like, but there are people that are completely different than me. Surprise, surprise, right? There's a lot of different people in the world that they love that. They love for a game to beat the tar out of them. And they're like, all right, I'm going to beat this. And it gives them a sense of achievement. It gives them a sense of power. And I think sometimes in an over-realized way, they take too much satisfaction from it, and it gives them a sense of value and worth. And it's like, it's an immaterial thing. It's a digital thing. It's not real. Like, and it's not increasing your value or your worth. So taking your identity and your value and your worth out of like platinuming a game or beating a game, homie, you got to live a better life. That's so shallow. Holy moly, that's shallow. Like, you got to have more than that. And I think that's why the people that get on these wavelengths are just so sniveling and obsessive and weird, because like they don't see the cave that they live in. There are plenty of people who beat games like that and are healthy and well-adjusted, and they don't think like, yeah, I'm going to pound my chest and brag about the fact that I'm better at games than some streamer man. Like, they don't freaking care. Plenty of you here have beat Lies of P, and you're well-adjusted and mature and not an idiot. Like, you don't act crazy about it. It's games are here for you. You don't exist for games. Living like you serve the game, like I got to give this thing everything I've got, and when I finally beat it, it's going to make me better, and I'm a more valuable person. I'm better than that Reforged guy. And it's like, that's not what games are here for, man. You're using them in a very strange way. Odin Arrow with 24 months says, I'm the same way, Lono. It's not that I can't beat FromSoft games. I don't enjoy the gameplay loop. Yeah, I've proven that I can beat the games, but I don't want to play them. I'm going to play Kazan with the difficulty down. Lies of P, I may go back and try to beat it with the difficulty down. I don't hide that. I wear it proudly. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm too old. Listen. It literally is the trope. I'm getting too old for this. It's like, I'm 43, man. I'm not doing this, bro. I threw the controller down when I died in Super Metroid, and I was 8 years old, and the game broke my heart, and I died in Mother Brain in her stupid chamber, and I couldn't get out. No, I'm just kidding. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. It's like, dude, no. I'm just trying to have fun, bro. I'm getting too old for this. It's like, it just makes me grumpy. I don't want to be grumpy. I want to have fun. Matt with 4 months says, I give a boss like an hour or two, and then I just lower the difficulty and I move on. I don't have time to be super good at games and spend that much time. I think what I'm saying resonates with more gamers than the alternative. I think the casual dad gamers of the world resonate with what I'm saying. I think that's why MMOs and live service games are starting to struggle, because the casual dad gamers of the world are not like, dude, I'm not giving you 16 hours of my life anymore. I'm not doing it. I'll give you a couple hours a night, and I need to make progress. I need to get a sense of satisfaction, because if you don't, I'm out. Like, we're all older now than we used to be. And we just have different ways of gaming. And I think what I say and the way I approach games is far more compelling to the casual dad gamers of the world. And I got bad news for you. There's way more of us than there are of you. You know this to be true. It's why skill-based matchmaking exists, because there are way more people in the middle to lower thresholds of skill and passion than there are at the top. That's why your pro teams, you know, there's only a couple of people in the world that are that good or on teams. There's only so many pro orgs, and then there's the rest of us. Like, so there's way more people like me. And that's why people have always resonated with my content. When I played Destiny that way and I talked about Destiny that way, it resonated with people, because the pro streamers and the grinders and the hardcore PvP guys, they appealed to a smaller subset of that community, because that was not the main audience of Destiny. Were the casuals, were the guys that were just like there to pop heads off of stuff and get loot and go home. No one can ascend to the heights that you do in gaming. I swear to frick, Mash. I swear to frick. I'm going to start charging you. Do you understand me? You're going to have to start. I want a big member bomb for every short joke, you son of a. I'm just kidding. Raising our kids is our life. We at least can share our passion. Right, man. If you're a parent, if you're a father or a mother or an engaged uncle or aunt, like you don't have time. You don't have time to play like that anymore. It's very difficult. And so you have to play in ways that are conducive with your life. You got to live life on life's terms. Games are here for you. You are not here for games. You don't serve them, they serve you. Treat them that way, and you'll probably start having a much better time. I sure am. It's liberating to be like, nah, not vibing with it, I'm out. Like, I did that with Ender Lilies, and I went to Ender Magnolia, and I had a wonderful time. Old me would have like stubbornly white-knuckled my way through a game I wasn't enjoying, because seeing credits roll is it's worth it. No, I was like, I'm not having a good time, I'm out. And I went to the sequel, and the sequel was superior in every way, and I rolled credits and had a blast. Death Stranding 1, I lowered the difficulty so I could just get immersed in the world and the story, and I had a great time. Old me would have been like, yeah, I can't be out here lowering the difficulty. Yeah, that's not really how you play a game. Letting go of that kind of stuff, man, I tell you what, that is liberating. It is freeing, because they're just mental shackles and commitments to standards that are not your own. They're just weird, made-up, arbitrary standards from, you know, weirdos on Reddit or something. And it's just like, listen, man, those are just self-made mental shackles. And the minute you remove them and you just start playing games on your own terms, I have such a better time. I have such a better time. I'm rolling credits on more games and completing more games, and I think it's because that's my approach now. I'm just like, the games are here for me. So Very Dark put up a video on you. It was a laugh. Oh, because of my tweet about the Resident Evil thing, and they're all in denial. They can put me in their content all they want. I don't care. I will never appeal to their audience because I don't deal in grift and half-truths. Listen to me. What I said got attention because a hit dog barks. And they've created and fostered a monster, and they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit the fact that now every single time a minority or a woman is on screen, that's the conversation that starts immediately. A millisecond later, there are people typing DEI, woke, and ugly in the chat. And it happened with Resident Evil 9, and they're all in denial. They can all say nobody's saying this, which is absolutely idiotic to claim. Plenty of people were saying it. We had screenshots from Asmongold's chat. People were immediately saying DEI and woke. We had people in our chat saying it. We had a tweet. We had multiple tweets in response to my tweet saying that the woman was ugly. That is now a conversation piece for every frickin' game. And it came from the grifting anti-woke ilk of the internet. And that's why they got angry. Because when I said this is absolutely stemming from misery and loneliness, a hit dog barks. And that's what they make money off of. They make content for miserable and lonely men who are upset and angry, and they need something to hurl that emotion at. Those people make money off of the emotional manipulation of disenfranchised men, and it's gross. And I threw a rock in the dark, and I hit a dog, and it barked. Because they were all like, oh my gosh, that's literally what this content thrives on, so we've got to attack this. Yeah, well, you'll learn very quickly attacking me is a bad idea. It doesn't work. All you do is make the thing you attack more interesting and more appealing generally, because people are going to get tired of the grift. They're going to be starving for truth and substance and accuracy. And you're not going to get it from videos talking about woke this, ugly that. You just aren't. So great. I'm glad I'm showing up in that content because I want there to be a very clear dividing line in the sand. Like, that is not the kind of content I'm going to make. People called it a rage bait. I was like, okay, I'll make you a deal. If the community note comes off of that tweet, so then it actually makes me money, I will delete the tweets to prove to you I don't give a frick about this stupid social point rat race that you guys play. I said what I said because I saw people saying that, and that's now the immediate conversation that we have to have about video games. And so I said what I said. I was rage bait farming. And to say that rage baiting is against the Twitter terms and conditions, that's literally what these people make money off of. That is literally what that platform is. It's an escalation machine. So to act like, oh yeah, rage baiting is against the terms of service. What do you mean? It might as well be in the terms of service. Do you want to make money on this platform? Better rage bait. Dear Lord, that platform is a fish that doesn't know that it's wet. It's like, what in the world? That's literally what this platform is built on. It's built on escalation and polarization and hate. Not only that, what you said was true. Yeah, it was just a basic observation. It was like, here we go again. The trailer had been out for 5 minutes, and people were already saying that. People were like, he was trying to imply it was widespread. I was like, no, I didn't. Where's your literacy level? Is it in the toilet? I literally said people are already saying this. Dudes are already saying this. I was talking about the immediacy of the conversation. It was immediate. It was like, the trailer just aired and this is already being said. As soon as the trailer started, we had folks doing the DEI woke thing. I was like, here we go. Here we go. Got to talk about that now. It's like, I can't wait for people to claim they're getting emails from people who worked on the project. Like, that's going to be a cycle in the content now every time a game comes out. We had to talk about how Siri was ugly. We had to talk about how Aloy was ugly. We got to talk about how this person's ugly. And it's just like, dude, you know, don't act like that's not some monster that you helped build. And now that it's starting to rear its head every time a game comes out, that monster wakes up in the chat and says, it's time for me to be mad. And it's like, that is quite literally something that is now a part of the fabric of this conversation every time games come out. And I'm going to smack it down, and I'm not going to put up with it because it's not true. And people calling me a woke and a liberal, I couldn't be more non-woke, non-liberal. If, like, goodness gracious, could you peg me wrong? You couldn't peg me more wrong. The only other way to call me something more inaccurate by calling me like liberal, progressive, or like woke. He's a wokey. You might as well call me like a black woman. Like, that is quite literally the opposite of what I am. But because I don't buy into your mantra, you have to other me and label me and then cast me to the side, because that's more convenient than actually engaging with the nuanced discussion. No, Lono, they might as well call you tall. Yeah, throw that in there too. You might as well call me a tall black woman. Just opposite everything. Like a liberal woke. Good golly. Good golly. All right, let's get back on topic. If they're putting me in their content, I've got some questions here. Listen, if they're putting me in their content, they don't understand that, like, all that does is it's going to drive people to come check out my content. It's just going to drive people to come and hear what I have to say. And listen, the people that have been red-pilled into believing all this, like, uggo, everybody's an uggo, they're trying to ruin our games, blah, blah, blah. Like, number one, I'm not going to appeal to those people, so I don't care if you make them dislike me. Like, they're not going to have the nuance and the care to, like, enjoy a conversation here. But some of them might. Some of them might come around and be like, I want to hear what this guy has to say. In either case, I win. In either case, I win. You're either telling people to not come to my content that I have no interest in talking to, or you might bring people to my content who might be like, I actually want to have an engagement about this and have a conversation about this. There are people that hang out here that don't agree with me on this. They think there's a woke agenda in games. They think they're making women ugly on purpose in games. They think there's examples. The examples are always terrible. We've had this conversation 18 different times, and they still hang out here and they still have a good time here. So you put me in your content all you want. I don't care. I don't care. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that tweet is being grossly misrepresented, because that's on brand for that type of content, to be misleading and dishonest. That's exactly how I got to your channel. Bad publicity actually doesn't exist. Right. You want to drive my relevancy? Because listen, here's the difference between me and you. You have to put people in your content because that's what you live off of. Small minds talk about people. So you got to live off of the content of others. I don't. That's the difference. So go ahead and put me in your content, because you literally have to. That content lives and breathes by taking the content and the work of others, whether it's games, trailers, tweets, or videos of YouTubers. They need that. I don't. I'm never going to put any of you in my content. Not ever. Not once. Because number one, that's absolutely lowbrow. And number two, why would I ever do that? Why would I ever dignify your content with like a response or promotion? I don't need your content, but you need the content of others. And that's the difference. Nobody's locked in here with you. You're locked in here with the rest of us. Joker Quinn with a gifted member. Thank you so much. All right, let me take some of these questions. Okay. What are you specifically looking for in Yote gameplay? Something like Ragnarok, new weapon, expanded companion, or Horizon, variety of weapons. I personally want more enemy types and different stances. Well, number one, I think the stances will be lockstep. They'll be lockstep with the new weapons. So, for example, it looks like her base weapon is a dual swords. Well, that's going to be, I'm imagining there'll be 4 completely new stances for that. But then she also has like the Kasurigama, like the chain thing that she's spinning. She's got a rifle instead of a bow. And it seems like you're going to be able to like maybe even summon the wolf. Yo, thank you, DK Bager. DK Bager and Joker Quinn having a bit of a back and forth today as the single gifted kings of the channel. Pathalon Phoenix and Mash have their fights, but Joker Quinn and DK Bager have their own. Spear. Yeah, so I think she's going to have like 4 stances, but she might even have stances per weapon, which would be really freaking cool. So if she's got 4 stances for the dual swords, but then also has stances for the Kasurigama and the spear, I think that would be cool. I don't think you're going to have like stances for like the rifle. That wouldn't make any sense. Nib says on Twitter to Paris, he says, enjoy much of your work, but you think near every Xbox pivot will be the future of gaming or next big success when it never pans out. Connect, Snap, Game Pass, Cloud, acquisitions for exclusives, Play Anywhere, Series S Trojan Horse, going full multi-platform publisher, and now handheld gaming. Oh, so he just did a search of him saying future of gaming, future of gaming, future of gaming. Got it. Okay. I mean, I'm all about optimism. I think optimism is fine, but I tend to agree with what Nib is saying. You know, all along the way, it's just odd that you don't have, like, okay, so like, let's take PlayStation as a test case. When PlayStation has been doing their live service efforts, I don't think once I've been like, oh, this is the future, this is going to be great, this is going to work out. Numerous times I said, there's no way all 12 live service games come out. There's no way they all succeed. It sounds like they're throwing stuff at a wall. And more recently, I've been critical and I've said, stop having your single-player studios build live service like Bend and Bluepoint, work with people like they are for this Marvel game. I think that's a better way. See, what that is like, that's criticism and analysis. Like you're analyzing the strategy and saying, here's the weak points, here's the good points, instead of just being like, yeah, this is the future. So like, again, I'm all about optimism, but it's like that just starts to feel again like it just feels like marketing. It's like it doesn't feel genuine. Huh? My son just closed my office door and said, "Good day, sir." Oh, okay. What are you watching? You have no idea. Just make sure it's not rated R. I'm just kidding.
We're watching rated R and
watching
Gladiator 2.
You are not watching Gladiator 2. Get out of here.
Gladiator 2. Any 50 bombs for people to disarm?
There's no 50 bombs for you to disarm.
Not me. People.
People need to. Oh, that's right. That's your line. No. Go.
Can we play our Switches instead of movies?
No, you cannot play on your Switch 2s instead of movies. Just watch a movie, please. So yeah, I mean, again, I see both sides of it. I feel like I've had this conversation before. Like being positive to a fault, I think opens you up to criticism. I just think it does. Like there's a level of me that can appreciate somebody that just wants to be positive and just wants to be excited about whatever's going on. But I think it does open you up to valid criticism. On the same token, the other side of that coin, always being negative, which is something that I can fall into, opens you up to criticism as well. And we've seen examples of that. People that end every showcase, they're like, sucked mid L, sucked mid L, sucked mid L. That's all they say, right? There's two sides to the coin where there are people that are like, everything sucks and everything's a negative. And for every, everything is in balance, right? So you've got people that are like that, and then you got people that are basically like, everything's great, this is the future. I think they both have their flaws, and they're both worthy of criticism. I don't care to get into an analysis of everything that man has said. I think he's been honest about the fact that he's committed to positivity, and I think that opens him up to criticism. It's like, there's got to be times where you're like, this is not a good idea. I don't like this. I don't think this will work. Like, there's got to be a time where that happens. Now, again, he could be getting sniped. There could be times where he says that, and that's not getting clipped. I go through that. People are like, you never criticize PlayStation. I'm like, I criticize them all the time. You're just falling for clip snipes on Twitter. All you ever do is hate on Xbox. Are you kidding me? I praised their showcases and a lot of their games recently, but you don't see that, right? So it could be a clip snipe as well. There could be times where he is critical. There could be times where he says that he thinks this is a bad idea or it will fail, but you don't see that. So it's always hard to know. I feel like we're always kind of get like a bit of a shaded version of everybody when that sort of things are going on. $2 from William Lewis. Thank you so much. I enjoyed your reaction to the Black Ops 7 reveal. Dude, people are really angry that I was excited about Black Ops. When the screens popped up, I got so excited. Yo, Alex, sorry I'm slow on this. Alex is the member plus, 33 months. I have no memory of this place, but since I'm here, you have yet to answer my question. How does one reforge a TV? Also, almost 3 years is crazy. Thank you so much, Alex. And that gets us to 235. And that gets us here to 82. Thank you so much. There we go. And hang on, I've got some more questions in the question queue. Frank Lass says, is it true the next COD will be on last gen? If so, why? Isn't it about time to move on to the current gen? All right, here's the deal with this. Okay, here's the deal. With the way engines work, I don't think this is as bad as everybody is making it out to be. Okay, just everybody calm down. I'm not about to, go Defense Force for Call of Duty. Just wait half a second. Let me get my argumentation together here, okay? Let me get my argumentation together. So, with the way these engines work and the history of Call of Duty, okay, having a version that can run on the PlayStation 4 is not this big arduous thing that you think it is. It really isn't. Especially when we've seen, I'm going to use a game as an example. Horizon Forbidden West on the PS4 and the PS5, there were big differences. Cinematic lighting was turned on in the entire game on the PS5. Frame rate, significantly better. The game just looked and ran phenomenally well, okay? And then obviously Burning Shores really showed off what they could do when they were only making content for the PS5, okay? So, yes, there's evidence there of they couldn't do everything in the base game that they maybe wanted to, but there were still very clear differences between the two. Call of Duty has been made for the PS4 for a really long time. Suddenly building a new game that is also available on PS4 is not this giant detractor that's going to make Black Ops 7 terrible. I don't buy into that. We know how engines work. Listen, I'll say it this way. You can't defend cross-gen support of games like Ragnarok and Forbidden West and then get all twisted up about this, because you're really starting to contradict yourself. I'm being consistent. I'm not changing my position and flip-flopping. I defended cross-gen of Ragnarok and cross-gen of Forbidden West and said those are PS5 games. When I play them on the PS5, there are features there that I was promised. They look great. They run great. Awesome. Okay? That to me was a value of my PS5. Now, the grifters and the haters and the anti-Sony fans kept insisting, no, those are PS4 games, which is totally ignorant of how engines work. We've always had this conversation, and I cite Cyberpunk. You can boot up Cyberpunk on an insanely strong PC, and it'll blow your dadgum mind with the path tracing and the lighting and everything else. But then you can also boot up Cyberpunk on an old gen console or a really weak PC. Why? Because engines are malleable and adaptable and agile. They can actually have a lot of things turned off, and then they can run on weaker hardware. So if you thought my argumentation about Forbidden West and Ragnarok was compelling, and you think my argumentation points with Cyberpunk are compelling, it's difficult to get all twisted up about Call of Duty landing on the PS4. Like, have some perspective. Like, they've been making that game for a really long time for the PS4. There's like 60 million people still on the PS4. Call of Duty isn't interested in getting people to buy PS5s. They're interested in selling copies of their game. And telling 60 million people, yeah, nope, sorry, we're going to leave you out. There is no way the boardroom is going to approve that. There's just no way. We're talking about Activision Blizzard, owned by Microsoft. Did you honestly think they were going to say, well, it's really time to leave the old gen behind and people are just going to have to buy a PS5? There's no business interest in Microsoft C-suite boardroom discussions or Activision Blizzard C-suite boardroom discussions that are going to conclude it's time to leave 60 million people behind. I know that people don't agree with me on this, and I know people are going to say, "Oh, you're defending Call of Duty and these corporates." I'm giving you perspective as to why it's not going to happen yet. Are the COD games typically scalable? I know the multiplayer is not heavy on hardware. What about the campaigns? I can't speak with a whole lot of knowledge of the campaigns, Zubair, but it's probably very similar in scale because it's the same weapon system, it's the same weapons. There's the animations and the movement of the players are a lot of times very, very similar. Joel Raptor says, I played Mind's Eye early. It has lots of potential. All right. Sounds like he's being nice. I like Jor. I like Jor Raptor. Sounds like he's being nice. PWH Town, you asked the same question. Thoughts on Black Ops 7 releasing on the old gen consoles still? Mash says, with the question here, when and where do you think we see major Xbox titles ported to the Switch 2? It's just going to take longer. So there's already people kind of taking issue with this. Black Ops 7 has not been announced for the Switch. So we're 2 or 3 years into their 10-year commitment to Nintendo, and people are like, what's going on? Apparently they're going to have an update soon, or they're going to speak to it soon, is what I saw being claimed. I don't know how concrete that is. That's what's being claimed. FCAT says Madden dropped last gen. Call of Duty has such an enormous user base on PS4. It's just not the same, FCAT. It just isn't. Yeah. But to your question, Mash, yeah, a lot of people are like, yo, when is Call of Duty going to land on the Switch? Listen, man, they made that commitment, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough because so much of what makes Call of Duty appealing is being able to play online, and that's just never been a strength of Nintendo, you know? It's never been a strength of Nintendo. Like, the way their friend code works and the net code and the party system and the friend... I just don't know. It feels like an enormous mismatch as well. It just feels like a mismatch. I just don't think there's this massive audience on the Nintendo Switch that's going to be clamoring to play a Call of Duty. It's going to be an awful lot of work for, I think, low return. Online with those cameras and live chat, remember? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I don't have a whole lot of confidence that... I just don't think it's going to be much. I think it'll finally happen because they made the commitment. I think it'll end up coming. But maybe it'll be something that's more stripped down. I'm not sure. So people, how here, actually think that their experience in Forbidden West on PS5 was hampered by it being on PS4? Yes. The argument was it's holding back the game, and they were taking a quote from an interview, "We believe in generations," and people misrepresented that. So early in this gen, people read an interview with Jim Ryan, and they ignored the rest of the interview. Because contained in that interview, like a paragraph later, he talks about how there's always a period of time where we still support the previous gen, because they sold, at the time of the interview, they had sold like 110 million or something, 100-something million PlayStation 4s. Like, you have to see the pure idiocy it would be to say, well, we have like roughly 7 to 10 million PS5s in circulation. We're going to turn our back on the 100 million people over here because we want people to buy the PS5. They didn't even have enough PS5s to make that a viable option. They weren't able to make enough. Legendary Dragon Ninja returns. They're actually doing something big, something earnable instead of microtransactions, and it's Hayabusa armor out of all things. I'm not familiar with that. What's the significance of that, Sven? In my opinion, I thought you went looking for that one. I never heard anything about that until you brought it up. Haven't heard anything about it since. I went looking for Mind's Eye. Are you talking about that? That was in one of the events. It was a trailer in one of the events, and everybody kept talking about how it was like former GTA devs. A lot of people were talking about that. Or are you talking about something else? Last question in the queue here from Citizen JV. Are you excited for Outer Worlds 2, and what did you like about the gameplay reveal? I liked all of the weaknesses that they talked about. I thought that was really cool. I like the vibe of the marketing. I thought it was very humorous and very funny. They had the actor who plays John Ralphio and voices Sonic. I forget his name. It's Ben something, isn't it? He is hysterical, and they did such a great job with the writing and the humor, and I thought the game looked great. The performance issues we saw in the IGN footage, I'm assuming, are rectified. It was screen tearing, which that I can't see that persisting. That could have been a performance, that could have been a capture method issue. The creaking knees got me. That was funny. That literally could have been a capture issue. Like, IGN could have been using a capture card that wasn't configured properly, or maybe VSync wasn't available yet, or something. I just don't know. To have that amount of egregious screen tearing in your capture is very bizarre. We've watched game previews and gameplay reveals for years, and I don't think I've ever seen that. It was extremely bizarre. And then everything they showed yesterday, I thought it all looked great. I thought everything they showed for Outer Worlds 2, I thought it looked great. Have you talked about the handheld yet? Or we're saving that for later on? You can bring it up right now. We've been talking about everything. Just it's a very liquid conversation. I wanted to ask you, I never got to see what made you a big deal in Destiny. Can I go back and see your older Destiny gameplay? No, you can't. What made me a big deal in Destiny was that I wasn't a big deal. I helped people in raids and then largely focused my content on discussions and Q&A and spent a lot of my time in orbit. All that content's gone. I pivoted when Destiny 2 came out away from raid service streams to discussion and Q&A. And it basically led to consistent growth because that game was in such bad state that discussions about it were in great demand. And a lot of big streamers started playing the game less frequently. And so people started hanging out with me and watching me instead. He wasn't great at completing bounties, but he was good at talking about bounties. This is true. This is true. Lona was the best Destiny guy is facts. I appreciate that. Yeah, and Nova baking. Weekly discussions about the nitty-gritty of the game direction was peak D2 for me. Yeah, it was fun. I was telling a friend of mine, sort of like my story and how everything happened yesterday. They're across the street from us, and we were just sitting chatting. And it was remarkable how many times I made pivots and choices that were very scary, but they ended up working really, really well. Like when we pivoted away from the way we did King's Fall raids, we pivoted to the helper system, and then that was perfect for Wrath of the Machine. Like that was like a glove, that was like a glove. It just went right on our system. Like Wrath of the Machine, we just basically locked in, and it worked perfectly. We didn't have to make any adjustments to how I ran raids. I always had 2 helpers with me. Well, that's 3 people, which means we would bring 3 newbies in. Well, guess what? Wrath of the Machine was consistently broken up into pairs. Almost every fight, you're broken up into pairs. 2-2-2, 2-2-2, 2-2-2, right? So, like, we were basically ready, and so we became, like, the premier stream for Wrath runs. We were very fast. We could do Wrath challenge runs on hard in, like, 40 minutes. I remember running Wrath hard challenge mode, and people were like, I don't know how you're going to carry people through this. And I had already figured it out. I was like, oh no, I know exactly how we're going to do it. And the next day we were running people through like it was nothing. And then Age of Triumph happened. That made me kind of explode because it was nothing but raids. So everybody loved that. And I'm the raid guy, right? And then Destiny 2 launches in a terrible state, and its raids very boring to watch. Leviathan's like one of the most boring raids ever made. And so me pivoting from raid service to conversation and Q&A was like the perfect decision. Because if I would have been trying to do raid helps, nobody would have freaking cared. People would have like, the Leviathan sucks, the game sucks, game's in a bad place. So like I became group therapy for the Destiny community. Everybody came in to moan about how bad the game was, and I gave them hope that it could get better. Were you good at skirmishes? I don't know what that is. I was good at raids. I was good at helping people in raids. I was good at the PvE content. I was not like a top level player, but I was proficient. I could get the job done. I could come up with strategies that were high on efficiency and low risk. There were people that like to bake and sword skate and do all this stuff to run things really, really quickly, and I didn't like running things like that because it led to failure. So I would minimize risk in every strategy I came up with. I had guys that wouldn't listen to me, and I finally told them, I was like, if you're going to help me, you got to run it my way. Because what they would do is, Wrath of the Machine's a great example. They would like sword skate or something over to the captain, get right up on the captain and try and kill him really quickly, and they would end up getting physicsed, where they would get hit into the wall or they would hit the wall and they would die. And I'm like, stop doing that. It isn't worth the risk you're taking. You're slowing us down to get 3 seconds of a faster kill on a captain. Sit back in the lane that I've chosen where you're out of the aggro pattern of the boss and shoot him with your partner. I had a couple of guys that I had to literally basically tell them, like, you can't run with me if you're going to do this. You're increasing risk needlessly. We're helping people through the raid. We're not showing off. And so I think people found that appealing. It was like you would come in and we would get it done, and there was very little fail rate. Yeah, get off the stairs. You remember, Jaggy? I was like, get off the stairs. Stop standing on the stairs. Like, there's shadows that's cluing you in. That's a safe spot. Yeah. Those conversations were always irritating because it was just people that wanted to show off. And I understand. They're in a stream. People are watching. They want to look like a hero. And it's like, you're not impressing anybody by sword skating over and blowing up killing a captain fast. Especially when you keep dying trying to do it. Like, you don't even have good success rate here, you know? So, who do you think the ROG is for? I tried to YouTube with only small channels talking about it. I don't know who it's for. I have speculated and said that I don't think it'll be in very high demand, and I don't think it'll sell all that well, because I don't know. What was the last D2 raid you participated in? Whatever one was with the Beyond Light, where you had, like, the passing of the stuff. I forget what we did in that one. That one was weird. Question here from DevSide. Have they announced a price for the Xbox ROG? No, they have not. Question from Jordan. How are you feeling about the PI mouse for higher game, even though no release date? Also, let them bebes play the Switch 2, Papalona. Hey. Mind your fucking business, okay? Now listen. Mouse PI looks great. Deepstone Crypt. Yeah, that was the last one I played. Did you do Kingsfall or Wrath more? Wrath was my favorite. Wrath is the best raid they've ever made. I've not even played all the raids, and I still believe that. Anyways, yeah, so here's what I think is going on with the lack of release dates. Here's what I think is going on. I think a bunch of games were slated for the fall, and they put their trailers together, and they put their marketing materials together before GTA 6 got delayed. So you got to know something about these types of showcases. These types of showcases have been worked on for like the last 3 months or more, okay? They're getting all the marketing materials from all the studios. So basically, the team that put together Xbox's showcase was basically out here receiving marketing materials and trailers from all these studios for the last 3 months or so. What that means then is Mouse PI for Hire dev team had to put something together months and months ago so it was ready to send to Xbox. Once Xbox has it and it's slated in the showcase, that's it. You can't make a change. So my theory is that a bunch of these games that are not committing to a date yet, they're all saying fall or winter or just 2025. I think they were all like, we can't pick a date until GTA 6 picks their date. Then GTA 6 delays, and they're all like, well, frick, we could have picked a date if we knew that was going to happen, but now it's too late. We have sent our trailer to Xbox or Jeff Keighley or PlayStation, and we don't have a date. We just have 2025, or we have fall, or we have winter. That is my theory as to what's going on. I think that is why there's just a bunch of games that it's like, what are you doing? It's June. How do you not have a date yet? I think that's why. I think we're going to have release dates for a lot of these games within the next month or two because GTA 6 is out of the frame. So now they got to put together a new trailer. They have to put together new marketing materials that has their release date. Does that make sense? You have to remember there are still a few more showcases like Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show. Right. So the studios that didn't pick a date for 2025 yet, they're probably putting together marketing materials right now to announce their release date. GTA 6 effed everything up because everybody thought it was coming in the fall, and then it delayed, and now they're all like, oh, well, frick, we can pick a date now. Well, it's too late. We already made all of our generic marketing materials because we weren't ready to commit to a date yet because we didn't know GTA 6's date yet. I think that's a sound theory. I'm not. You don't have to believe me or think that I'm right. I think that's a sound theory. I think that's why. If that's the case, it kind of explains why September and October are bursting at the seams. That's exactly right, Jordan. That's exactly right. That's why so many games are like September, 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 September. Why? That's the end of summer. And everybody's like, you got to get your game out before fall gets here because then you got no idea. No, I didn't try the Karen demo. Lono got the Switch too so the little ones could look at it. Listen to me. They each have their own dadgum Switch too, okay? I'm that parent, okay? I am that parent. You don't want your kids to be friends with my kids because they're all going to come home and say, well, they each got their own Switch. They're going to ignore the fact that I'm a YouTuber who covers the gaming industry. They'll ignore that, So let them play it. No, they play video games once a week on Saturday for 2 hours. Probably plays it in front of them. No. No, they get to play on Saturdays for 2 hours. We limit their screen time a lot. You blame MASH for that? That's not MASH's fault. 3 switches, crazy work. Well, I didn't want World War in my house. And when we travel, they're incredibly helpful. Like, I got my son a Switch Lite, and it was so great on trips. Like, for them to just have something that they could, pass the time with in a road trip or something. MASH for F sure isn't helping the situation. Listen, don't try and pin that on MASH, okay? MASH and Pathalon Phoenix are just very generous, and they're very kind, and they're lovely gentlemen. Defside says, have they talked about the price for the... Oh, no, you already asked that. No, we don't know the price of the ROG Ally, the Xbox ROG yet. The Xbox Ally, or whatever it is they're calling it. We don't know the price. So. Pac-Man on a Bike says, those other folks could give those kids an option. You can have your own, but you can only play 3 hours a week. Those kids might be happy to share. Yeah, if they get to play more often, maybe. They don't have phones. Yeah, no, my kids don't have phones. We're gonna hold the line on that as long as we possibly can. I've spoken to so many parents, and they're like, wait as long as you possibly can, and then wait a little bit more. Yeah. Linus Tech Tips has a close look at the ROG. Hang on, Camille, did that question come through? It did. Hang on. Let's get some more questions up on the board. And a 5-bomb comes in from Gambit Zero, and he gets us exactly 10 members away from the next milestone. Twitch, this is your chance. You haven't won a single one of the milestones yet today. A 10-bomb to steal it. I'd hurry up. YouTube has been known to take these from you. Okay? Better act quick. I don't even have the capture up for the questions because I want to make sure whoever gets it first gets credit. A 10-bomb is very common around these parts. And a VIP comes in from Necro, 41 months. Not going to lie, I'm interested in the ROG. I hope I can get my hands on one. Why did you not buy one up to this point? And so what tipped this one over for you? Thank you, Rogue. This needs to become an 88. Do you understand the question, Rogue? Like, you haven't purchased one up to this point. What's tipping you over? If you had to pick one announcement, reveal trailer from the weekend that blew you away the most, which would it be? The one that I keep coming back to is Clockwork Revolution. I thought it was such a great the vibe, the graphics, the humor. That's the one I keep coming back to. I keep coming back to that one. Like, that was my sort of like, man, this is just hitting all the right notes. The Black Ops 7 reveal really got me excited just because I still think Black Ops 1 is the best story they've ever told. The numbers, Mason, like when the monitors popped up on the screen, I got really excited. I was like, here we go. The Expanse looked really, really good. I love the focus on a lot of co-op games that are coming, like Lego Voyagers and other games like that. But I really do think that, yeah, the one that I keep coming back to, the one that like I remember, is that Clockwork Revolution. You almost pulled a Ginger. I almost pulled a Ginger when the Housemarque logo came up for Saros. And then when the Sucker Punch logo came up for Yote that first time. Those were two reveals that, like, I was so excited. How many CTF games are we getting? Yeah, where did that come from? Why are we suddenly getting Capture the Flag games? And who said, you know what game mode we should bring back and make a whole game out of it? Capture the Flag. Like, huh? What the heck? Where is that coming from? Is Lego Voyagers online multiplayer? I don't know. I don't know if they said. I wasn't really feeling Clockwork. I want to see a deep dive. Oh, I don't expect everybody to like it. It's very like BioShock adjacent, so I get people maybe being a little bit off on it. Okay, we didn't have anybody scramble to steal the milestone. You guys are 9 away from the milestone, so I'm gonna pull up a question really quickly. Thoughts on the Splitgate dev getting a lot of flack for announcing a battle royale? I don't know if the battle royale is why he was getting flack. He got flack because he took a swing at Call of Duty. He was wearing a hat people assumed was political, and then their monetization pricing was ridiculous. Did I miss anything? Like, and it was a little cringy. Like, I'm just going to say it. The whole, I'm going to say the F word, and that's really cool and really goated. Like, no, not really. It just comes off across as unprofessional. There's only one person that did the F-bomb thing that felt genuine and hilarious, and it was when the guy at Hazelight said, F the Oscars. That was just a total funny human moment. It didn't seem like he was trying to be cool. He literally was like, F the Oscars. Like, and he gave us a funny moment. Like, that was entertaining. But like this, and it's effing awesome. And then you're going to like strut off the stage with like a bat on your shoulder. It was just like, I don't know, a little too much dude bro energy. It was just a little too much dude bro. It was like, okay, like it's just a video game, my man. Like, you know, and again, the taking a dig at Call of Duty, you talk about a professional and tactical risk. I don't know why you would do that. They make up the biggest pie of like the PvP shooter people, and you like took a shot at their boy. Like, why are you taking a shot at COD? Like, yeah, people always get a little disenfranchised with COD, but it's almost like, think of it this way. Have you been around somebody and like they take a shot at your sibling and you get really upset? You're like, hey, I'm allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. I feel like Call of Duty fans probably felt that to a certain degree. Like, hey, we're allowed to take digs and shots at COD. Not you. What are you doing? That's our boy. You see what I'm saying? It provoked people to be like, no, that's our territory. You don't have a right to do that. You're selling a game. You got your own game. You don't take shots at COD. Like, it just didn't land well. It didn't land well at all. And then he had to say that his hat wasn't a political message. And it's like, listen, man, you just don't seem to know the climate that you're in. You can't be doing make something great again on a hat and not expect people to politicize it, because that's its origin, bro. Its origin is like a historic. It's quite literally like a historic campaign in the history of our country. You can't just throw that on a hat and be like, this will be fine. This will be fine. Super divisive, you know, country's pretty much split on this. I'm gonna wear the hat. I'm gonna wear the hat. It'll play. Okay. Anyway, yeah. I think they stepped in it a little bit. I also think they agree with me. Hang on, I got to thank a super chat. William Lewis with the $5 super chat says, my question is, will the new OS or whatever Xbox Ally runs be available for the current ROGs? I know current don't have it or don't have the X button. I'm not actually sure. I'm not sure. So, how do the Splitgate devs agree with me? I think they know that Arena won't carry them. Why else would you be adding a BR? I think they agree with me. I think they know. I think they understand that, like, longevity in the market can't be won by an Arena. It can't. This is the type that them younger cousins be doing when you got to share at the family function. This is exactly right. Just cutting it, bending it, hurting it. That's good. That is good. Xbox Game Pass now has 35 million subscribers, up 1 million than last reported. Yeah, I wouldn't take some guy's LinkedIn as, let's wait. Up 1 million, he could be rounding. I mean, I'm be honest with y'all. He could be rounding. Let your cousin have a turn. That's right. That's really bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that's the growth they wanted to see, like 1 million. They've dropped some of the biggest titles ever on Game Pass. They put Call of Duty on Game Pass. Oblivion, Doom, like Avowed, South of Midnight, Indiana Jones. Just like, and that you've added 1 million? I would not be running a victory lap on that, boys. I'm serious, man. I keep saying Microsoft is swinging the guillotine over that crap. There is no way. Absolutely no way. They also pulled Day and Date off the base Game Pass tier and only kept it for Ultimate. Right. That, to me, Ginger signaled that I don't think they care about it as much. It's not a priority like it used to be. They're making it more expensive and harder to get. Like, I don't know. That's like we've plateaued behavior. That's like we're not going to grow this much anymore. Let's get as much money as we can from it behavior. You know what I mean? It's late stage subscription service behavior. I'm feeling the effects of Game Pass right now, says Sven. I want to play Lies of P Overture, but I played the base game while I was on Game Pass. I don't own it. My issue is my save file is on Xbox PC. I have to buy it there, otherwise I have to restart. And you know what they say? Gotcha. Gotcha. That's what they say, Sven. They got you, dude. That's the issue with Game Pass. We've always said that. You're not building a library. You're renting games. And man, it'll get you sometimes. That's one of the... There's pros and cons to Game Pass. It's not all bad. That is one of the negatives, that you can totally get stuck in like a, oh, frick, I want Lies of P DLC, and now I gotta get the whole game. Oh, like, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why they raise Game Pass prices to push people... to Game... I'm sorry, I misread that. Maybe that's why they raise game prices to push people to Game Pass. I don't think that would be an accurate take, Wolf Saints. No, they're not raising the prices of games to push people to Game Pass. They're raising the prices of games because they can. They're doing the same thing Nintendo's doing. Corporate decision makers, like corporate heads, are saying, hey, raise the price. All this cost is going up for us. We're going to charge more. Are you freaking kidding me? Tariff this, tariff that, currency fluctuation here, currency fluctuation there. You know, what was it, $680 million that PlayStation was anticipating having to shoulder due to tariffs? They're going to figure out a way to protect themselves against that, and Microsoft's doing the same dadgum thing. And Nintendo's doing the same dadgum thing. They're like, yeah, we can raise the price. I don't think they're doing it to be like, oh, this will shove people to Game Pass. Their game sales will be awful. Outer Worlds will flop. I'm telling you, $80 for Outer Worlds. Woo, boy, that is going over like a lead balloon. People are like, I'm sorry, what? That ain't no annual Call of Duty. Like, what? That's a good title, but that's not like one of your banner AAA, okay, I guess I'll do it. It's like, huh? And here's the thing, they can. They totally can. I actually think it's going to affect the sales of games like that. I do. You boot up your PlayStation and you see Yote and Death Stranding for $70, and you see Outer Worlds 2 for $80. Come on, that's terrible optics. That's terrible optics. As a publisher, you got some stones to think that you're going to land on a storefront alongside a big AAA first-party titles at $70, and you're going to be $80, and you're not going to. Oh my word! People are going to be like, "Oh, what? Why is this $80?" If PlayStation can hold and not raise their prices, it's going to be very, very interesting to see the effect it has on things. Outer Worlds is $70. Where is it $80? My PSN is not a pricing. It was seen on Steam. Pre-purchase Outer Worlds 2. You better believe if it's $79.99 here, I mean, it's going to be $80 on PlayStation. On PSN it's $70? What? Are you serious? Well, then they agree with what I was saying. That would be terrible optics. No, it's not. It's right here. Outer Worlds 2 is $80, brother. Like, look at this is what's going to happen. Let me just show you. Let's just run a thought experiment, okay? Let's just run a little thought experiment. You ready? Okay. You're going to see this for $70. A huge, enormous, like graphically groundbreaking AAA title from Kojima for $69. Sucker Punch is beloved at this point. Tsushima is beloved. $70 for Yote. And then you're going to see this and be like, what the f is going on? Like, this is some, I honestly, I don't even know. That's just some like really, really odd decision making from Xbox to pivot into publishing, but to jump the gun on price increases. It's like, okay, price increases on hardware, got it. I get it. They're exiting hardware as far as we can tell, as far as like they're making it their own. I don't think they're going to be making their own hardware anymore. It's expensive, and I don't think they like doing it. I don't think they get good ROI on it. So we'll raise the prices. They're selling like crap anyway, right? That's fine. You raise the price before PlayStation raises the price. Oh, so it's not raised in euro or pounds. It's the same. It's $69.99 for Outer Worlds 2, and it's $69.99 for Death Stranding 2. Right, but, brother, PlayStation has a humongous presence in America. A huge presence in America. Like, that's an awful lot of American consumers that are going to be like, what the frick? Why is Outer Worlds 2 $80? Yeah, it's the same for you. Right, Maloon. Right. But you got to remember, the U.S. dollar really, really drives the global economy, brother. Like, you're going to come to your biggest market as a publisher, right? As a publisher, you got to think like Xbox here. Xbox is bringing their game to PlayStation. PlayStation's like biggest presence is America, I'm pretty sure, and then Euro is like second. So it's like that. I think that's a crazy decision. Oh, also, we haven't even talked about how Steam is going to react to that. Steam reacts to $70 games pretty prickly, and you're going to try and charge $80? I don't know. They want us to sign up for Game Pass? It seems like somebody did a tip. Hang on. I don't have these notified very well. Chris Judge says, take shots at Call of Duty. Who would do that? Thank you for the $2.50 tip. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor. I stopped asking for likes, and they kind of came to a screeching halt. Try to get us to 400 likes. It really, really does help out the video. I know it sounds like, oh, man, this guy's always asking for likes. It's genuinely noticeably helpful. And listen, we turned off the automatic ads, okay? So it was so disruptive, and that was something that I did. So if you appreciate that, then, you know. Apparently I'm a woke loser. Woke loser gets wrecked for claiming gamers think Resident Evil 9's lead is ugly. I'm so glad that you think I'm a woke loser. That I've never been more pleased to be mislabeled by someone. You know what I mean? There are times where disappointing somebody or upsetting somebody, it brings a sense of like mirth and joy. And like, that puts some pep in my step. It really does. It really does. It puts a pep in my step. I am everything. I am everything. I am a corporate shill for Nintendo. I'm a Sony pony. I'm an Xbox hater. I am a woke loser. I am alt-right. I'm a hyper conservative. What are some of the other things I've been called? I'm literally everything. I'm whatever you need me to be for your slop content. I'm whatever you need me to be. Jiminy Christmas. What do we have here? And a 10 bomb comes in from I'm Capo over here on Twitch. He seizes the opportunity to steal the milestone. There it is. Boy, that sat there for a long time. Thank you so much. Corporate chill. Whoops. How do I get this to anchor here? How do I get it to anchor? What the heck? Oh, because I have these extra monitors set up now. I have to do it the other way. Okay, I have to do it the other way. Did he say short? Right. So you're basically Batman. Yes. Yes. I was raised in a very conservative Christian home. Wandered a bit. Came back to my faith. And more in the middle on pretty much everything. But probably have a more noticeable conservative lean. And to be called woke it's truly special. It's truly special. I don't agree with your takes and how you cover the gaming industry, so I must be woke. No, I haven't had a chance to watch the Death Stranding 2 showcase, Slothcat Gaming with a $10 super chat. If you think about it, you're paying more for an Xbox subscription via a PlayStation subscription. You're going to need to flesh that out for me, Slothcat. What are you saying? Hang on. I owe 5 members to each platform. Are we in a hype train right now? My gifted subs are discounted. You're basically Bateman or Batman? I don't know. Basking in the woke DEI arena. I like people self-reporting that they're too dumb to interact with what I think or say. I take great pleasure in somebody being like, I'm too stupid to interact with nuance, discussion, logic, and reason, so I'm just going to label this guy something so I can move on with my day and cash in on the ad revenue. Like, just self-report you're too dumb. That's fine with me. This tweet means he's a this. And it's like, okay. We've got the intellectual depth of a thimble. Wonderful. All right. I can move on with my day, I guess. Oh, man. All right. We got some questions here. Camille, I kind of answered this. Which are you looking forward to more? And you said that in chat. Clockwork Revolution or Outer Worlds 2. big time Clockwork Revolution. Big time. Yeah. You're not woke, you're just an a-hole. They're mad that you're a man of faith, but remain in the center because you understand nuance and can rationalize. I appreciate that. And yeah. You're not woke, you're an a-hole. Thank you, Gangs. Lono, he's a one and all, alpha and omega. He existed before time itself and will exist afterward, everywhere and everything all at once. And yet still, he needs to be picked up to reach the top shelf. Okay, frick you, Gangs. That was pretty good. Will you play Marvel Tokone? I will play it out of morbid curiosity, but I will not play it with a sense of like, I'm going to be good at this. I'll probably just get my butt kicked. I can't play fighting games. It's like trying to play the piano. Like if you don't know how to play the piano and you just sit down and kind of try to play the piano, you just go bink, bonk, bonk. Like that's, when I watch a fighting game, it's like watching somebody play the piano expertly. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go in there and punch, kick, and like throw a fireball and then uninstall. Like I can't do it. I literally can't do it. It's like trying to play the piano. I know that I can hit things and it makes sounds, but I can't put it all together. You know? That's not true. Lono, Lono has tiny custom shelves for his house. Yeah. I do. You'll blend in with 60% of the player base. Are there that many people that have no idea how to play? Yeah, I'm serious. When I watch a fighting game, that's exactly what I said. There were people that were like, when I was trying to get into shoutcasting, they're like, oh, you should shoutcast fighting games. I'm like, brother, it'd be easier for me to learn Russian than to try to shoutcast a fighting game. I'm like, ooh, he did a lot of punches. The other guy's doing a lot of punches, and now there's some kicks in there. This is going to be pretty bad. He's been punched and kicked more than the other guy. Like, I wouldn't know what the heck to say. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Yeah. Oh, he big mad now. Like, oh, he's flashing. That means something. We all know that flashing is a sign of bad or good. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Like, I couldn't. I'd have an easier time learning another dadgum language. Because that's what it's like, learning a game like that. You're like learning a whole new language. You take short jokes with grace. As a fellow shorty, I take inspo from that. Them jokes definitely caused me a lot of anger growing up. I mean, yeah, I've always been, teased for how short I am. But I always tell my very tall friends that, being tall is pretty great. Those rare instances where you got to get something at like the top shelf at the grocery store or something, which I can reach, by the way. But you know what I never need in a car or an airplane, which I find myself frequenting those modes of transportation? Do you know what I never need in an airplane or a car? Legroom. And that, my friends, is your comeuppance for all your short jokes. Every time you sit on a plane and your knees are touching the seat in front of you, every time you get into somebody's car or rent a car and it's just not big enough for you to stretch out and get comfortable, I want you to think of me. I want you to remember this smiling face when you're cramping up on your next long flight. I want you to remember me. And just remember that's never a problem for me. I'm 6'4", so planes are my enemy. Dude, I've seen tall guys on planes, and I'm like, I don't envy that at all. It's like you're trying to ship yourself in a box, You're not lying. I'm 6'3". I hate having no room. That's what I'm saying, dude. Every time I rent a car or take a flight or get in somebody else's car, I'm never worried. I'm like, I'll fit. They're like, it's kind of small. I'm like, I'll fit. Do you see me? I'll be all right. I'm fun size, bro. I'll fit. Don't worry. I want to remember your eyes burning driving that minivan while I nap in first class. Hey. I actually don't. I don't take long drives. No. I'm like anti-road trip, man. I'll fly, dude. I'll fly. What's a too long didn't read for the stream? I thought the Xbox Showcase was an absolute win. I gave it like an 8.5. Great job. There were games missing in action. The only two negatives I had was that I think the handheld is a bit of a non-starter, and I don't care about it, and I don't like the way they talked about Silksong. We are once again getting a vague promise from Xbox, not Team Cherry, a vague promise from Xbox that we're going to see Silksong this year. They did the same thing 3 years ago when they were like, everything shown in the showcase is coming out in 12 months. And when somebody asked them on Twitter, they said yes. And it was like, that's not your place to say that. So I really hope you have an agreement with Team Cherry this time to say that. And then there were games missing in action that people were sort of like, hey, what's going on? I think the biggest one that was on people's minds as like, what's going on with it is State of Decay 3. It was announced in like 2019 or 2020. And people really zero in on Wolverine, but it's like, well, State of Decay has shown up a couple of times and still just nothing. Like no gameplay, no release window. Like at this point, if it's not next year, it'll be 2007, which if Wolverine comes out before State of Decay 3, that'll be insane to me. It'll be like, I'm pretty sure State of Decay was announced before Wolverine, wasn't it? I might have the timeline wrong. They might be in the same camp of like, they were early games that were announced to cast a vision for the gen, and then they just haven't made headway with it, or they're having trouble. I don't know. It was announced in 2019. Isn't that before? That's earlier than Wolverine. Wolverine was 2020 during the showcase, wasn't it? When was State of Decay 3 first? I can't spell. First announced. It made its debut during E3 2020. Yeah, no, it was 2020. I didn't think it... For a while, I thought it was 2019. I don't know why I thought that. It was 2020. E3 2020. Okay, so it's been 5 years. And that Wolverine game was then the same window of time. Wolverine game announced in what year? In case you don't remember, Marvel Wolverine was announced alongside Spider-Man 2 in the showcase in 2021. Yeah, so State of Decay is longer than Wolverine. No, I was right. Yeah, it's a year difference. It's almost a year and a half difference. Like State of Decay was announced a lot earlier. And again, I never had a problem with that. I thought games like Wolverine and State of Decay 3 were fine to announce at that point because you're casting a vision for the new gen. It's okay to do. I'm not criticizing it. But to be like, where's Wolverine? Wolverine must be in trouble. Wolverine's not coming. Well, I mean, State of Decay 3, you've been waiting on it for even longer. So, I mean, keep the same energy, I guess. State of Decay 2 was never a one and done. I'm not sure what you're saying, Paul. Insomniac announced their next two games. Yeah, it was a double header from Insomniac as well, which it stands to reason, right? It stands to reason that if you're going to do that, then you're going to... If you're going to do that, then you're going to wait long for one of them. You're going to. It makes perfectly good sense. They mentioned Wolverine like last week. Yeah, they mentioned it in a post. Yes. The Cisco says, if someone said that you could have either a Steam Deck or an Ally, which would you choose? I would choose whichever one, based on power, is going to be able to give me the best performance, because that's primarily what I would care about. If I'm going to play like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor on the go, or a little Rogue or something on the go, like I know I'm not going to play like some big, Tsushima or Horizon game on it and get great performance. That's not what I would pick. Yeah, whichever one's stronger. Hey, Luna, why are you disrespecting my man Ears like that? I will not let this slide. I said you were not an a-hole. Channel activity. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ears. I apologize. You're not woke. You're just not an a-hole. They're mad that you're a man of faith, but you remain in the center because you understand nuance and can rationalize. Yes, I'm also terrible at reading. So, it's not a great combination. It's not a great combination. They only went full production 7 months ago for State of Decay 3. Oh, they announced that they're shifting from State of Decay 2 to 3 7 months ago. Okay. Freudian slip. Yeah, I guess. I think I'm so used to being called names that I just assumed even when someone's complimenting me, they're going to be like, well, you are a bit of a... Justice is served. Case adjourned. That's right. That's right. Do you guys prefer Jay Lindenberg or Ralph Lauren? What? Let's take another question here. When do you think Xbox will announce Halo coming to PlayStation? Whenever they can get Jeff Keighley to do it. Are you going to do a review of pros and cons about the Switch 2? No. Switch content is probably not going to do much on my channel. And I know Creature's big thing is we had to do that with PlayStation. And he's like, if you want to do it, you got to start doing it. I just think Nintendo's a non-starter. And I don't think it'll ever be a starter with my audience. Ever. I don't think you can have 54,000, almost 55,000 subscribers and just suddenly start doing Nintendo content. Nobody cares. The audience doesn't care. Now, maybe gameplay of a really big Zelda mainline, or like when Metroid drops, maybe those will get decent, traction and decent viewership. But me covering Nintendo or doing like a review of a Nintendo game, it's just probably never going to happen. It's a non-starter with most of my audience. When I cover Nintendo stuff, it does terrible because most of you don't watch, and I'm not mad about that. I'm just acknowledging the reality of most of you are like, yep, I'm good. I don't care. Let me show you something. Let me just show you a little indicator of why it's not a good idea for me to cover Nintendo. This poll right here. Are you getting or did you get a Nintendo Switch 2? 3,000 votes. 78% says no. So you're talking about an audience that just is like not interested. If this was 50-50, yeah, it would make sense to do content. It would. But this is a sampling of my audience, and they're like, yeah, bro, no, I'm not getting one. So it's kind of like doing VR content. If a bunch of the audience doesn't have the VR, what the frick do they care about a VR video or review? If you don't have a Nintendo Switch 2, what in the frick do you care about me saying this game's great or I played this or blah, 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 blah? No. The Nintendo Switch 2 can be a part of my content, like when a new game comes out or like a Friday night stream, but no. The Nintendo Switch 2 has not compelled enough of this audience to take it seriously to justify me making content about it. And honestly, reviews are tough for me anyway because it's a ton of work and I'm always late. Like, there's going to be so many people that do it way before I do. So I'm fighting an uphill battle. I'm late in the algorithm. My audience is going to reject it. It's a dead video before it even hits the airwaves. Like, it's been shot in the leg. It's been shot in both legs. I mean, let's just say what it is. I mean, any amount of substantive work I would put into a Nintendo video has been shot in both legs before it even gets out of the gate. It doesn't stand a chance. It's a bummer. I love Nintendo, and listen, if I wasn't playing Expedition 33 right now, I would be unhealthily playing Zelda. I would be literally like ending my day early to go play Zelda. I would be like playing it on the couch, and like my wife comes downstairs and we're going to watch TV. I would be having such a hard time stopping playing Zelda. But it is what it is. It's different than PlayStation because PlayStation's so big and influential. We've grown an audience of people that like PlayStation as well as PC. So, oh yeah, and I'm wearing a Zelda shirt today. Any Marathon news? Or Bungie went dark? Oh, nothing on Marathon. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do. They either decided on their own or they were told by Sony, get the frick out of the frame. You can't be here. Being 100% serious, does any groundbreaking news come from Nintendo? We know they're making a Mario and Zelda games. Zelda's the game of the year? Huh? What are you talking about? There's no Zelda mainline this year. What do you think about the Game Freak game? Do you think Pokemon will change its visuals after? Could end up looking like Power World or better? I wasn't expecting that from Game Freak. I wanted to look at that one again. Isn't that the one? It had the weird name, didn't it? Was it the reincarnation game? Beast of Reincarnation? Wait, this frame is what we want. I mean, this is an insane departure. I'm just going to be real with y'all. I mean, this is a big departure, bro. This isn't like even adjacent to any work they've done before. I had to shrink the text size. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet on YouTube, do me a favor and do that. Try to get us to 400 likes. We've had a really, really good day and a really, really good start to the week. Popping in during my lunch break. How's it going? What's the news? You've probably been hearing a lot of the recaps, a lot of the back and forths already. So, yeah, if you've got a question about something specific, I'd be happy to answer it for you. But maybe a little too much right for me to give you like a too long didn't read. If you missed the news, I am a woke loser. So that's kind of the big headline. That's the big one. This guy left a comment with the timestamp, David Mason, and I yelled, yes! He said, true COD fan right here. I don't know how COD fans are not excited for what was that noise? I don't know how they're not excited to go back to the numbers, Mason. Come on, man. At least you can now admit it. Oh, my gosh. That's all I needed to hear. We'll be posting that on Twitter shortly. Okay. I don't think I could call someone a woke loser with a straight face. It just sounds funny and unserious. Well, when your content is poison and you're making content from a place of hate for people who hate, you have to do that. You have to name call like a petulant child. Got off the phone with GameStop. They probably will sell the Xbox Ally online, but not in the store. Okay. I'm not excited because they've ruined the last how many COD games? I thought the reboot of Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 was great. Modern Warfare 3 was a joke because it was meant to be DLC. And I didn't play the Black Ops campaign. Did I? No, I didn't play it. Why did I not play that? What was going on? What? Why did I skip that? My brain can't even grab a hold of that game's launch. Oh, I did. I didn't finish it. That's right. It was like the spy one. Gosh, I'm getting old. Yeah, that's right. We got to the base. We were building up the base, and people said it was about to turn and get better. And I was like, okay, I'll go back to it. And then I started playing something else. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I completely forgot about that game. That was weird. Like, there was just a blank spot in my memory. I was like, what? I thought people liked that campaign and told me that it got a lot better. Is that not the case? It's mid all the way through. I had people telling me they're like, it was about to get good. Wolf Saint says, when they said the leader for Miles left Wolverine, did he leave the company or just the project? Where was this reported? I don't remember seeing this. The leader left? What do you mean leader? Like, what was their official title? Camille says, as our favorite woke loser, what do you think the best showcase was this year? I feel like all of them had great moments, but they all had weak ones. I would say that Xbox's was the most consistent. Like, it just never let up. They never took their foot off the gas. So, yeah, I think they're the most consistent. PC gaming show is always basically terrible. Future Game Show was fine. They were having production issues. They were pretty inconsistent, but there were some good games there. So Keeley's event, I thought, had some really high points. Death Stranding 2, Mortal Shell 2, but wait, no, this isn't Keeley's event, is it? Yeah, this is Keeley's event. Yeah, I thought it had some high moments. I thought it had some really cool stuff. It had some really unique stuff, like the Felt That boxing game looked cool. Chrono Odyssey looked amazing, but then they had like smaller titles like the Mio Metroidvania game that I think looks awesome. Some cool co-op games like the Lego Voyagers game. The nice surprise of the Liza P DLC shadow dropping, that was cool. So yeah, I liked his event. I think Xbox's was just more consistent. It had almost no low points. And then, you know, the big RE9 Ender was really good. Yeah, and then PlayStation's was probably the weakest for me personally, because it was a huge focus on Japanese studios and Japanese games that don't appeal to me, and then their banger was a fighting game that doesn't speak to me. Like, it's a great opportunity for PlayStation, and it's great for the fighting community. It really is. I'm actually happy for the fighting community. But it was like right after being disappointed in how they handled Yote, you start talking about a game that like doesn't interest me at all. So like PlayStation's was the weakest for me. It just didn't. For other people, PlayStation's was the best, basically because of the fighting game. So again, it's so subjective to the user. It never really lines up with what people say about me. I'm commonly enjoying. For years now, I have felt and enjoyed Xbox's events more. I enjoy their events more. And this year, they just didn't let up. It was constant. It was a constant barrage of games. The only thing I didn't like that they did was what they did with Silksong. I don't like when it's like we're gonna get some generic promise that you're getting a date, or no, it's not even a date. You're gonna get it this year sometime. It's like, oh, okay. Why not just do an actual honest to goodness trailer? Why not do like an actual, announcement? This generic thing. And again, why are you letting Xbox announce it for you? I just don't get that. I view Call of Duty the same as annual sports titles, minimum effort aimed at monetization and lining pockets. And Black Ops 7 is one, again, catering to nostalgia. Just my opinion, though. Do we know what team is working on it and how long they've been working on it? Because I tend to agree with you. I don't like just cranking out nonstop games like every year, because it does hurt quality. But do we know who's working on it and how long they've been working on it? Another question from Spice King says, as our favorite woke loser, what are the games from the last couple of showcases you're looking forward to the most, so I can avoid them and not catch the woke? Well, honestly, anything that was gay, I'm there, bro. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. Were there any games that looked woke? My standouts were probably the Barrier posted this image yesterday in members chat. Team Cherry confirming Silksong is coming before holiday and that they're not currently tied to a console release. What do you mean they're not tied to a console release? What does that mean? What does that sentence mean? What does not tied to a console release? Is it going to come to PC first? Too many I haven't played that are out. Too many coming soon. Too many next year already. Oh, they're not tied to Xbox's console release. Oh, okay. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so weird to not launch on console. So basically what they're saying is we're not going to come out at the same time as this thing that they're releasing. We're not tied to a console release. No, that makes sense because they were announced during the Xbox Ally. They want to make sure people know, like, we're not coming with that thing. Like, that's not what we're doing. I understand now. Lord, I'm going to have to quit watching you for being so woke. You're the most fair and balanced YouTuber. Well, I appreciate that, Grady. So they're contradicting Sarah? No, Sarah didn't say it. Sarah Bond's phrasing did not say it would be there at the launch date. She made it clear that it was coming this year, but not with the Xbox Ally. I think people probably misunderstood what she said, which is why Team Cherry has now clarified, and they're like, we are not tied to a console release. Hang on. I can't see you Twitch chat. The game definitely woke up Nintendo. Oh, Pal World looking game. Yeah, another one, FCAT. It was Brian Horton. This was last year around this time, apparently. So Brian Horton in Somniac. Brian Horton. Oh, because he's over at Xbox now. Right? His Twitter account's gone. He's no longer the creative director for Marvel's Wolverine. He went over to Perfect Dark. Whenever that happened, that was 7 months ago. I don't know if that's a concern in the timing. If they're far enough along where they don't need him anymore, and they're in the development pipeline, and they're building the game, and they've made all those creative decisions, I don't know. I think she said launch title, which implies launching with the system. Launch title could be that it's out before the Xbox Ally. Do we know the release date of it? Xbox Ally release date? I don't think we know the release date. They're just saying holiday. I mean, CNET is saying the ROG Ally from Asus and Microsoft arrives holiday. Team Cherry is saying before holiday. That's why Sarah Bond said it's going to be a launch title, because it'll already be out and it'll be ready to go on the ROG the Xbox Ally. So I would say before December, you're going to be able to play Silksong. Would be my best guess. That's the best guess I can do, because like holiday, I mean, I'm imagining that would be after Thanksgiving, before Christmas, so like first half of December. It's just weird to say that. Yeah, saying launch title is a little awkward if that's how you're doing it. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, do that for me. We need 35 more likes to get to 400. Yeah, it's 2:30. I'll let you guys extend. We don't have to go to green room. If you guys can get this to 300, we're 49 away. I'll extend the stream. Sometimes I do that. I just put the stream in your hands. Instead of going to green room and leaving folks out, we can extend. But we do need the 400 likes, so just take a quick second. I know a lot of you guys lurk and you don't have the phone out or the screen up or anything. Just take a quick second and make sure that you've hit the thumbs up. Silksong will be a shadow drop, as they are aware they've been holding out on us. I don't think the shadow drop predictions make any sense for that game. Having it launch during the Game Awards beginning of December. The Game Awards is usually like December, the second week in December. I don't know about that. Lona, what are the determining factors that devs take into consideration when trying to decide which platforms showcase to have a trailer at? Why did Xbox have way more? Why did Xbox have way more? Way more what? Like announcements? I don't think they had way more. How many did they have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 31? I don't think that's more. No, what? So I said 31, didn't I? So Keely's event was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42. Keely had like 10 more, I think, announcements. I think Xbox had more than PlayStation. No, I wasn't even done with Keely. Hang on, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52. Keely had over 50 announcements. He had way more than Xbox did. PlayStation had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So 24 to 31. So PlayStation had 7 less. Comparing a state of play to a large showcase is a little weird. Well, it doesn't even have that many more. The showcase had 31. The state of play had like 24. That's not even that big of a difference. And Keely had the most. I mean, like 50 something. I usually don't give any platform credit for announcing a third-party game. Only one show can announce it. If it's not exclusive, it's whatever. Please finish my comment. What'd you say? Oh, but the gaming community in general, I think it's clear at this point that Sony is focusing on smaller showings. Yeah, but it didn't even feel like a smaller showing. It was like 55 minutes long, wasn't it? It was almost an hour. They said 40 plus minutes, and it was longer than that. Yeah, it was 55 minutes long. It was 5 minutes short of an hour. That did not feel like a small event. Excuse me. I can take and explain that one from the business side, why these marketing deals play out like they do. Well, do it. Yo, it's good, Feed. I see you in the chat. Always good to see you, Feed. All right, in 13 minutes, we're going to go to the green room. If you guys extend and you get the member count way ahead of goal, which would be we get to 300, I'll extend the stream. We'll just keep going. We won't go to green room. So you guys have 13 minutes to extend. We don't have to do that. That's just something I put the stream in your hands sometimes, and it's fun. And you guys can have your little contest. It's a range of things, said Street Shadow. Marketing deals play probably the biggest role, like Xbox and Persona. If they have a deal, they will likely always show up on XYZ event stage. Got it, okay. Feed is in chat, and he's saying, please, everybody hit like. Give Feed what he wants. We need 10 more likes. And Feed also does not have a badge on YouTube, and we need to rectify that. So now is a great time to scramble and extend the stream because Feed is in the house. Feed is in the building. How do you have time to console war with all these games? Who's console warring? What are you talking about? Is there somebody in chat console warring? I mean, people are being silly. You know, they're being a little tongue-in-cheek, like the Xbox showcase was a PlayStation showcase. Like, Joker Quinn, another one of the kings of single gifted, says, come on, boys, we can do it. We can scramble. Not you. Well, that's what I mean. Is somebody in chat being genuine, or are they just being cheeky? Like, you know, jokingly saying that the Xbox showcase was a PlayStation showcase. I mean, it is hard to watch the Xbox showcase because this is something I've been saying lately when, like, the pro Xbox guys or, like, the Bleed Green guys are like, yeah, all these Xbox games. I'm like, I don't know what that is anymore. When 25 of your 31 announcements have a PlayStation 5 logo on them, I don't really understand what's an Xbox game. What is it? It's not on the Xbox only. It's a game that's basically everywhere. Like, what's... Like, that's not even console warring. Like, I'm just genuinely curious. What point sheet, what score are you keeping? I don't know what an Xbox game is. It's just an Xbox Studio game. It's like, oh, okay. At this point, that's like an EA game, a Ubisoft game, a Sega game. It's just a game that's being brought to the market and hitting multiple platforms. Are you planning on playing Chronos or Resident Evil on day one? I will definitely check out Resident Evil day one. I'm hoping it's sort of a return to the RE7 vibe. I don't know if I'm going to get my wish, but that's what I'm hoping for. I loved Resident Evil 7. I was not a big fan of RE8. And the Chronos Odyssey one looks good. That's like an MMO, isn't it, though? Or no, is it like a multiplayer game? Chrono Odyssey. Yeah, it's an MMORPG. So I don't know. I just don't have time for those right now. I would not, will I be able to make any progress? Will I be able to, like, achieve anything? I have a really, really hard time being motivated to check out an MMO, other than, like, out of just curiosity, but, like, not out of genuine interest of, like, yeah, this game's going to take over my life. It's like, I'm having a hard enough time working through my backlog of, like, single-player games. Last thing I need to be doing is, like, grinding a friggin' MMO. I want to play Dune. I just haven't had the time. That's what I keep saying about Dune. Like, Dune looks fine, but it's not compelling enough for me to be like, oh, yeah, dude, I'm going to sink a bunch of time into Dune. Like, the combat loop looks fine. It looks good. I think people are really going to like it, but it's just like, you would need to really make an insane Star Wars MMORPG that is very action-oriented. I would want to feel the fluidity of combat from, like, the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor games. I would need it to feel that good to be in your MMO. And then that's a game you could get me with. Lord of the Rings, you might be able to get me with, £5 super chat from SDO. In my opinion, Xbox isn't a console anymore. I think Xbox game as just a game made by Activision or Bethesda. The showcase listed Xbox PC and Xbox Cloud. This is correct. Yeah. Oh, you meant are you going to play Chronos The New Dawn day one? Yes. That's a game I think looks great. It looks great. All right, you guys got 8 minutes. You have 8 minutes to extend the stream. I'm going to get excuse me. Golly, I'm going to get Green Room ready. Lord of the Rings with some Elden Ring-esque combat, I'd be on that. My biggest thing with an MMO is two things. Time commitment. And, like, is it going to feel like a good action game? Or is it going to feel like the clunky, sort of slow, thing that we commonly see? Like, New World was really, really fun, but eventually, like, the combat just irked me. I didn't like it. I, like, didn't want to... I didn't really want to get back in the world and get into fights. It didn't feel good, There we go. All right, create. Green Room at 1 o'clock. I used to play Elder Scrolls Online like an addict. I haven't touched it in 4 to 5 years. Yeah. It's hard to be excited when there's not enough time to play most of these. Right, like how do you get excited about a game where you might not like it, you might not vibe with the loop, it's probably going to take a ton of time to even really get anywhere and get anything done, and then you're also like, oh, and by the way, I want to finish Expedition 33, I want to finish First Berserker Kazan, oh yeah, Death Stranding 2 is coming out, oh yeah, I have a ton of smaller games that I've really wanted to play, like the platformer Sagat and others. It's like, I don't... An MMO? It's like saying, hey, I know you're trying to carry all that stuff up the stairs. Can I add a bowling ball to the basket that you're carrying? It's like, what? No! Like, it... I see you're barely making it up the stairs carrying that really heavy basket. Would you like to add a bowling ball to it? It's like, no, there's no way. He was the narrative director? If he was the narrative director, Wolf Saints, I'm even less concerned than creative director. Like a narrative directors commonly leave middle or near the end of production because they're like, I've done my job. If you're narrative directing a game and the story's written and now you're doing like recording and screen capping and all that, I think that's not worrisome at all to have the story guy leaving halfway through or like close to being over. All right, no more questions because I can't do it with the screen. We're gonna go to green room, so no more Q&A. Death Stranding 2 is my next main squeeze, and the game is supposed to be way longer and more deep gameplay-wise, so that's going to occupy my free time until Silent Hill F. I really got to plan my games out. I wish I had time to sit and play forever games. I, too, am old and have too many other games to play. It's just a very, very different time, to be a gamer, and I have to choose my targets very, very very, very wisely. I have to choose my targets very wisely because it's like you will literally end up in a place where it's like nothing's getting completed. You're just dabbling in games because there's always something new that's coming out that can take your attention. Yo, Smooth Jazz, thank you for the Member Plus. Let me add you to the count. Was that a renewal or an upgrade? Upgrades count as 2, so I always want to make sure and give you guys credit for that. Thank you, Smooth Jazz. We're going to be going to the green room in 3 minutes. You cannot come to the green room if you're not Member Plus or above. That's a great reason to upgrade. And Smooth Jazz is going to gift a 5-bomb. He's like, boys, we got 3 minutes to scramble. If you guys can make this count, hit 500. And then another one's coming in from Stone Spire. You guys are going to try and do a buzzer beater to extend the stream, I guess. We're now at 96 on the day in the contest. If you can make this hit 300, I will extend the stream. We won't go to the green room. You need 41 more. And another one's going to come in from Stone Spire. Stone Spire's trying to set something up here. He's trying to give it a nice round, tempting count. Thank you so much, Mr. Stone Spire. You'll end up having multiple games partially finished. It's a task to get invested. Yeah. Yep. At this point, you really have to impress me to get my attention and take the place of something else that I'm waiting to play. Right. It stays 402 likes on my end. Yeah, it's 402. Street Chatter with a $5 super chat says, Horton was creative director, but they moved it to Marcus Smith, who is top tier and likely their best. He did Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man 2. No worries. Yeah. No worries. If the guy that did Ratchet and Spider-Man 2 is in charge, I'm not worried about Wolverine at all. I tried to set up a 20 bomb. It's okay. It's okay, Stone Spire. You guys have 2 minutes. Can you do 40 members in 2 minutes and extend? Twitch, you guys can add to the total as well. You guys kind of sat out today, and that's okay. But you can add as well. So get your renewals, get your primes, maybe gift some. You guys can extend the stream instead of going to green room. I'll have to shut the stream to sub only. This time I might let the end die of old age. I'm not sure what you're talking about. They moved to a better director. Game's in good hands. That's what I'm saying. Like, that sounds good to me. I've been writing Gifted for a long time, says Smooth Jazz. Time to pay it forward. Oh, was that an upgrade then? And a 5 bomb comes in from Super Gaming and says, come on, boys, let's scramble. We are exactly a 10 bomb away from the next milestone. I will owe you guys some members when it hits 275. Who's going to take it? Who's dropping that 10 bomb? It could be you, Twitch. You guys can steal those away from YouTube. Don't let them have all the fun. Let me back that one up there. It's not fitting in the frame. There we go. First time paying for your own. Oh, well, then that counts as 2. I'm going to add that to the total. That counts as 2. Anytime you guys upgrade from a member light or a gifted to a member plus, that's a double, because I need so many people to do that. Like, we've got, 2,000 to 3,000 people on a gifted every month, and that is just not something that we can expect to continue. People's generosity is just blowing me away, but that's not something that we're entitled to. Hear me out. What if Sony considers Xbox no longer competition and sees Xbox now the same as Windows and allows their games to be played on it? Like I said, FCAT, I think it runs against PlayStation's business interests. I'll give you guys an extra 5 minutes since you guys had a bit of a scramble here. We're only 30 away, so I'll give you like 5 more minutes if you guys want to go for it. Here's the thing, FCAT. Either they block it because it goes against their business interests, or they see it as a non-threat. Neither of those are the W that the Xbox boys think that it is. If they let you play PlayStation ports on a PC hybrid console Xbox that comes out like 2 or 3 years from now, and they don't try to block it, and it comes up in an earnings call, and they're like, we don't really see that as a threat to what we're doing, that's not the W that you think it is. It just means that they look at you as a non-threat. It's like, yeah, they're basically PC now. Like, who cares? Or they do block it, and it really goes against. And a 5 bomb comes in from Tiniest Peen. That's a name that I had to say out loud. And we are now 4 away from the next milestone. You guys can totally steal it. You can totally steal it away. We're 4 away from me owing 5. They're not threatened at all. Right, like, I don't know if they're going to view it as a threat, okay? I don't know if they're going to view it as a threat. I think they're going to view it as that goes against our business strategy. Do you see, like, it's not like, oh, that's a threat to us. That's not why we're putting games on PC. I feel like there's a distinct difference between putting games on PC in the hopes of coaxing PC boys over to your console because they want to play a sequel, and it landing on a console PC hybrid. All right, you guys have 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I don't mind giving you a little bit of a stay of execution because people are being generous and they're trying to hit the goal. I said that if this hits 300, I'll extend the stream. We'll just keep on going. Sometimes we do that. I put the stream in your hands. So feel free. Make sure and celebrate your renewals as well. Those count. I think you're looking at it in the console war glasses instead of the money that can be made. I'm not looking at it with console war glasses. I'm looking at it through the lens of what Herman Holst said to shareholders. I am doing this purely from the business strategy analysis of what they have said. They have quite literally said their approach in taking games to PC is a 2-pronged strategy. Day and date for live service, and the big narrative-driven games go later, hoping to coax people over to their console with sequels. That's not going to be the same if it's landing on what is called a console. And Wired Rope gifts 5 and gets it. There it is. I owe Twitch the 5. YouTube, you let them have it. You let them have it. I'm going to gift you guys 5. We are now 24 away from extending the stream. You have 2 minutes to extend. 2. All right, here we go. There's the 5 that I owe. They're not worried about it at all. Again, I'm not expressing this from the frame of worry. I'm saying that, like, shareholders would ask, does that not go against our strategy? You're putting games over there hoping that people come to our platform. That's a platform. That's a console. Right? Now, Herman Holst could reply and say, we don't view it as a threat because it's not as powerful as the PlayStation 6, And because I'm imagining that the PlayStation 6 will be stronger. So he'll say that. I could see him be like, it's not as powerful as the PlayStation 6, and it's not a threat to our goals because the market saturation of that device is not going to be great enough to concern us. 60 seconds, boys. You got 60 seconds. We need 24 more members. And hang on, I forgot to add to the member battle for Twitch. A little bit more respectable for you guys. Sitting at 22. They should have added a kickstand. Why didn't you get a PC already? Who are you talking to? This gen's already decided what could change this next gen, but the handheld isn't going to move the needle. And a 5-bomb comes in from Soldier on Music. Here it goes. Come on. The last scramble. He gets us to 281. You guys are going to put the green room on ice. We need 19 more. And the member battle continues to go handedly to YouTube. That is okay. Twitch, you got to start to rally the troops. Sony's also coming out with their own portable device. I doubt they will want another portable console to challenge them. I don't even follow, but I guess I was just gifted a sub. You created your account in May of 2020. You have no messages in my stream. Yeah, I don't know why you got gifted. Maybe you watch content that's adjacent to mine and they thought you would like my show. That's maybe what Twitch did. The same thing happens on YouTube. I stream in both places. It's not a portable console. It's a handheld Windows PC. Yeah, I agree with you, but people, again, maybe the optics could be that's basically a threat to what we're building. All right. I gave you guys one stay of execution already. I can give you we're 19 away. I always feel bad when people rally and try to do the buzzer beater, but I can give you 4 more minutes. 4 more minutes and we're going to green room, okay? I always feel really bad because you guys are being really generous. And it's really kind, honestly. You put more people in the member pool and then you extend the stream for non-members, like instead of going to green room and like leaving them out in the cold. So it is I never want to spurn people's kindness as they rally. Ally is cloud-based? No, it'll be installed local. Sydney Sweeney says that her training for starring as boxer Christy Martin in a new biopic included putting on 30 pounds, lifting twice a day, kickboxing 2 hours a day. We're going to need to research this. 5-bomb comes in from Silent Warrior. There it is. A little 5 train is all you need, boys. You're 14 away. You know? Little 5 train can take care of it. Thank you, Anthony. That's very kind. If Sony could say that all games on the console can run at 4K 60, I would definitely think about moving from PC to console. Otherwise, I'll wait for the sequels to release. That's totally fair. If you've got something that's, you know, doing the job for you on PC land. The Xbox Ally is crazy, and it will be stupid expensive. 24 gig of RAM is crazy in a handheld. With the added pounds of research, yeah, we just need to figure out. You know, I just want to check on her. I just want to make sure she's okay. You know, that's a lot of that could be, you know, it could be unhealthy. I mean, I'm just trying to do a little research. You know, it's basically just like I said. A 5-bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix. Thank you so much. Oh, there it is, boys. This is anybody's. A 10-bomb could come in and steal it. Whoever hits the 300 gets the next gifted. And the 10-bomb comes in from Siriu. He capitalizes. And there it is. You guys have extended. We'll just keep going. These days are fun because we basically end up with the most loyal, and we just hang out and keep talking. And more people get pulled into members. So thank you so much for everybody that just contributed to that. I now owe YouTube. I filtered. I was like, what the heck? I now owe YouTube a 5-bomb. Let's do it. Dope shirt, sir. Thank you. Feed, how are you out here dodging members again, dude? People went crazy today. You know? How does Feed not have a membership? I don't know. It happened to him a month or two ago. Well, here's my 5. Go to feed. Go to feed 890. Feed 890. I'm trying to manifest. It didn't work. Sorry. Well, Green Room's got to wait, boys. What you want to talk about? You can submit questions again. I can open back up the queue. You can ask me about anything that's going on. But I tell you what I'm going to need to do. In order to do that, I'm going to need to take a break. So I'm going to run upstairs very, very quickly. I'm going to hit an ad on both platforms. Thank you guys so much for being here. Smash like, do all the things, and I'll be right back. I'm back, chat. Oh. This is when we just get to relax. The show's basically over. We can just talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Got him. Those Helldivers dual senses. Oh, it was hard for me to say no. It was hard for me to say no. They're good looking. They're dope looking. What Prince of Persia's tweeting about something? What's this? Something is lurking in these waters. The frick are you doing, man? Summer Game Fest is basically over. What you just sending a tweet? Somebody mentioned me in a tweet here. I didn't believe this was Death Stranding 2, but apparently it's on the Pro. If I didn't know this was a game, I would have thought it was some live-action nature documentary, especially during the opening credits. Hang on, my capture's not right. Oh, frick, man. How is this possible? Like, we're in the dadgum future. Like, we made it. We made it, boys. Because the credits is live action. What? That's Kojima doesn't do that. What do you mean? So in Death Stranding, they're doing live action stuff? He didn't do that in Death Stranding 1, like, at all. And he could have. They're all real people. Are you saying that the opening credits of Death Stranding 2 are live action? I think that's all in-engine. That's gameplay, says Vithusa. That's what I'm saying. You got to watch it. It's so good. Like, yeah, that would be very much, like, out of character for him to have live action. That's all in-engine. Never in all my years of gaming has a game's visuals took my breath away like this is running on the PS5 Pro. Death Stranding 2 sets a new bar in terms of graphical and visual fidelity. Bar none. Nothing matches this. Nothing at all. Wooly, that's Wooly's tweet. The fact that this is rendered in real time and not pre-render is frankly hard for me to comprehend. Kojima's a genius. Kojima Productions are wizards. And the Decima engine is pushing in real time visuals you would otherwise only see in a pre-render film that's CGI. What the frick, man? I was going to message Wooly and tell him that the segment was not real time. I just checked and seen that part Jeff says it's PS5 Pro real time footage. I'm stunned and humbled. It looks scarily real. Ridiculously good work by the team and Decima and by extension Gorilla. What the heck, man? You got guys out here that are like, nah, there's no way. There's no way that's real time. And then they find out that it is real time in engine. That's crazy. Yeah, enjoy. You're in good company. Odie didn't believe it was real, and he works in engines. He does stuff in Unreal. My twin girls are waving at you, sir. Hello. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. I love the new color and design of iOS 26. It looks so futuristic. Listen, since Potato and I have agreed on a great many things, this is not one of them. It's not bad. It's not that bad. I've just always found the iOS color updates to be kind of unappealing. There's kind of like, I don't know. What's good, random black guy? What'd you say? A video game getting an Oscar would be insanity. Yeah, I don't think they would ever do that. You'd need a special category, and I don't know. The Academy would probably be like, yeah, no. Kojima's doing crazy stuff back on the PS3. It doesn't shock me. It's just one more thing to say that some people have talent and others not so much. Yeah, I don't think you could get it nominated for an Oscar. I don't think that the Academy would want to do it. You know what I mean? I feel like they'd be against it. Wildgate's open beta has started now. You guys remember Wildgate? This is that ship-to-ship game, PvPvE. So you can go to wildgate.gg/open beta. It looks like to get involved if you're wanting to play. Let's see here. Play for free through June 16th on Steam, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. There you go. So open beta is today until then. Login rewards. Do I need to sign up to participate? No. It'll be available for everyone. So it looks like you can just go do it. It looks like you can just go download it and play on all the platforms. I know some of you guys were interested in that one. Just seeing if anything else is going on other than people gushing over Death Stranding 2. Talking about how good it looks. Y'all started a deep dive. The tomorrow fight sequence is unreal. I've not watched it yet. I mean, we could watch it right now. Okay, not interested. Okay, let's see. It's an hour and 21 minutes long. I did not get a chance to watch it, so I'm just going to skip ahead. Hang on, Elle Fanning's on screen. No, we got to go back. Why is she wearing her dad's suit jacket? Is your dad Dick Tracy? All right, let's go forward here. We've seen this sequence. Discord, you need to see this. Is that in this? Is that in this, Eugene? Some uncanny valley level stuff right here, boys.
It's only natural that Tomorrow wouldn't understand. After all, she was living in a realm of the dead. I wouldn't expect children to be born into such a place.
Thank you.
Come on, right?
Jiminy Christmas.
Crazy game. Well, now you can see some.
I've always loved porters. Through freezing rain and biting wind, across rivers, mountains, and endless deserts.
Listen, I'm just gonna say it, y'all. This man's going for game of the year. He is making an absolute run for it. This has the chance to unseat Expedition 33. That's the only game that even has a chance. Is the music doing that to you guys? Is it supposed to be doing that? The back and forth thing? It's tripping me out.
Sorry for the cheering, but we have like flashback scenes and also from DS1 scene, an explanation for the DS1 scenes in the game. So they're appearing in that part.
Okay, sure.
So we're already in the game. This is in the border of Mexico and UCA. So it's 11 months after the ending of DS1. So you see Sam here, and he's just living on himself, delivering. And Lou, 11 months old, is actually delivering with Sam. So this is a tutorial stage. So I want people to learn the camera controls or the basic controls, the basic ones. So this is already in the game.
Woo! Look at that!
Jiminy Christmas. Okay, we're gonna change the camera a little bit.
Okay. Open world.
And we could maybe zoom it. I mean, yep. So this is the real first part, the tutorial. All right, let's change the camera here. And that's the goal. It's Sam's hideout. So the first mission is to go back to your hideout. That's a simple mission, yeah? So it's an open world game, so you could go anywhere. And I want people to, learn the controls. You could go anywhere. So let's move on. So listen carefully here. When you run, you hear the drum rolls, right? You stop. No drums. So the music arrangement changes. It's a Yoan's Woodkid song, but it will change according to players' actions. So even it also changes according to which route you take. So he's on top of the hill. You hear the melody, you have the rhythm coming in. And then, okay, let's go sidetrack a little bit. So the rhythm and the melody goes away. And you're going to slowly start to hear the strings and the piano. So this is the same song, but the soundtrack will differ according to how you play it, to each player.
Guided by
So,
music.
yes. So I have to say thank you, Woodkid, because this was such a difficult job. It's almost like autoplay, right? Auto music. So you could go anywhere here. Oh, there's a chiral creatures. But we could go into them, but let's avoid them for now. They won't attack you unless you attack them, so you could just move away using the sensors. It's the same. The red places are slippery areas. So you could climb quite steep hills. You don't have so much equipment at this stage, but you could still go. All right, let's go back top on the mountains, and you'll hear the rhythm and the melody coming back in, the chorus.
Credits.
And also, let's move on. And the camera changes at sometimes. I call it like the Peter Jackson camera. And if you don't like this, you could hit the button and the camera will switch back. And I also, when it's during this camera, you won't fall. So I kind of, programmed that you won't fall. But you need to balance. It's not as easy as you see. And you could go anywhere, right? And you have to kind of learn the balancing so you won't fall. You don't want to fall. And also this time, the map changes real time because you have natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, forest fires. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the earthquake. Yeah, there's a small one coming. And this is a small one to predict a bigger one, but you need to keep balance not to fall off. All right, let's go a little further. But then a big one's going to come. You have to really stand still and balance, otherwise you fall. Now you could imagine if this was a snowy mountains, you get like avalanches. So as you can see, the map changed. Now you can't go there anymore. And Lou is starting to cry because was scared. So let's soothe Lou. Okay, let's see the movement of the controller here, as you can see. And you could soothe Lou. Or you could close up. You could see the close up of Lou's face and we'll stop crying, but okay, we're soothing. Okay, Lou is now happy. Yeah, smiling. All right, let's put it back. So you have to take care of Lou too. All right, we're gonna cut here because it's gonna have a long distance, but that's the beginning.
What'd you guys think of that? Incredible.
I don't even know what to say. Like, this man, protect this man at all costs. Like, what he brings to gaming, like the impact that he's going to have with this game in particular. I would love to see this be a catalyst to the Decima engine getting used more. I really, really would. Yeah, here we go. There's more. This is insane. This is insane. I'm telling you, this is the only game that has a chance to unseat Expedition 33, and what I'm seeing, it's got a true shot.
Live gameplay.
So, remember the last time was different wars, but this time it's different natural disasters. So this is representing the fire. So you have like fireworks and things like that, but you see, it looks beautiful, but it's dangerous. And there'll be like lavas flying around. And you'll see like this ghost, we call it remains, and you see some ghosts walking by as well. So yes, the fire starts to spread. And Dolman, as a psychic, will speak to you too. So there's this fireworks still going on.
How is this even going to run?
And all these lavas falling at you.
Gosh,
Well,
it looks like
actually,
it's
the
just going
lava
to
is
tank
part of the
performance.
whales,
Like,
but
this is
anyways.
insane.
でこれニールさんの
And
護
you
衛
see the warriors, we call it,
来ました
who is guarding
はい
Neil,
で
comes out.
右に通路がありまして
So you could go to the
あっちに行ってもいいんですけ
right
ど
and
あっち行く
sneak,
と戦闘じゃなくて
but you won't
火
battle.
災なんですけど
So this
皆さん戦
time,
闘が見たいと思うんで
I know everyone
こっ
wants
ち
to
行き
see battle, right? So we're going to go through the
ます
middle
で
this time.
まあオーストラリアなんで
And since this
ブ
is
ーメラン
Australia, I'm going to use a blood boomerang,
あ
right?
のサムの血が入ったやつですね
So Sam's blood is in
ちょっ
there.
と見にくいです
So okay, it's a little hard to see, but I think he's aiming.
これは失敗しないと思いますけどね
I think he won't make a mistake here.
あ行きました
Yeah, good hit.
まあブーメラン戻ってくるんです
And boomerang comes back.
戦いたくない人は別の道行ってくださいね
But if you're not good at battling, you could actually sneak away as well. You could
You got
always
both.
have that option.
You got both. You got the second on the return.
All right, the boomerang came back.
はい見なくなりましたんで
All right,
ただ
we
まあ
got.
どんどん火災が広がってい
All
く
right,
の
the
で
fire's starting to spread.
噴石が来ました
Yes, all these things flying around.
でタールキャノンというの
So
があ
we
りま
use
して
something
これ
called the
ちょっと
tar
重たいん
cannon.
ですけど
It's a little
こ
heavy
れで火を
equipment,
消せます
but you could distinguish
はい
the fire.
山火事もこれで消せ
You
ます
could even put out forest fires with this, but it's very heavy, so you have to, think about when you're carrying this.
これで火を消すことができ
And you
ます
could,
あ見つかりましたね
oh, they find you now.
で
The warriors
こ
found
の
you.
タールキャノンでも
But
倒
this
せ
tar
ます
cannon is actually usable as a weapon, so you could shoot the warriors too.
倒しましたねはい
Yep, we got him.
ちょっと火を消してもらって
All right, we're
まあ
gonna
別
take
ルー
out
ト
the
行ったらいい
fire.
んですけど消さなくても
Well, of course, you could take any route, but let's go through the middle.
はいまあ結構重いんで
And it's a very heavy equipment, so he's a little slow.
噴石
Yeah, so like we're definitely getting some compression through YouTube. I wonder what this is going to look like native, like on your monitor, because the compression from YouTube really doesn't like all the moving parts.
来ましたあ危ない危ない
Yep, watch out.
はいでここから結構長いの
Okay, from here, it takes a little while, so I'm gonna skip.
この後もウォリアーズがいっぱい出てきま
So
す
there'll be more warriors coming up.
Yes.
まあ吉家君今まで大丈夫なんで
And I think Yoshike did a good job,
で
yeah?
こ
Yes.
の後行き
All
ます
right. We're gonna skip to the next scene for the battle,
ニールが待ってます
Battle
where
Neil.
Neil is waiting. And the warriors, 4 warriors, are waiting.
ここはこれ結構難しいんで
This is a difficult part.
祈ってください
So could you pray for Yoshike-san, please?
And one thing we should say, Hideo, is this is from pretty early in the game still, right?
そうですそうです
Yes, it's
まあ、ク
from.
リフも何回か遭遇し
Well,
ま
you
したけど
met Cliff a couple
ニールの空間
times,
にも
but
何回
Neil
も
the
行きます
same. You go numerous
で
times to
災
this
害のシー
world,
ンなんで、まあ、今回は
and it's the natural disaster. This time it's fire, as I said. It could be like the earthquake or the flood, kind of. So you go to that world.
Incredible. All right, well, let's take a look now at this the continuation of this sequence, battling Neil.
でサムは、まあ、ちょっと
So
メガネとか
Sam
いろいろ
has a lot of
帽子とか被れるん
equipment.
ですけ
So
ど
we're going to show you a little equipment as well.
帽子かぶってください。
Like, okay, let's wear a
で
cap.
まあ、いっぱい帽子はあるんですけ
So
ど
we have so many
なん
caps,
とですね
but this time
帽子を後ろ向けに
you
かぶれます
could
今回
reverse the cap when you wear it. Norman does this. So you could kind of wear it reverse.
あと
Great
バッ
improvement.
クパックに
Also the
まあ
backpack.
プレート
You
です
see the
防弾の
back
プレー
plate,
トと
which
アムローダー
protects you,
マガジン
or
箱
the
入れますと
rotor
グレネードポ
storage
ーチが3つと
and grenade
カイラル反
pouch,
重力装置って
and
丸いやつあり
also
ますよね
chiral
あれ荷物が軽くなるやつなんです
anti-gravity
けど
device.
あれ僕いつも3つぐらい
I always put that 3 so that, helps my, a lot of, I could put a lot of weight on my backpack. But okay, this is the, of course you could change the colors too. But so this is the equipment this time. We have a lot of things on our back. Let's battle Neil.
Yeah, it's running in quality mode, so it's 30 FPS.
はいでニールとウォ
Okay.
リアーズの戦いですが
We're gonna confront the warriors and Neil.
ちょっとステルスで行ってみましょうか
So let's do a little stealthy first.
まあニールを倒せばいいんですけど
Well, we're just trying to defeat.
Hang on, really, really quick. Stats for nerds. Yeah, they're streaming at 60, so it's not the stream.
Neil, but
今ピン打ちました
we wanna get the warriors too.
ウォリアーズが
So
出てますけ
we'll
ど
find one
セッティ
warrior,
ングして
and we're sneaking behind,
まあロープで
and we got him with the rope.
はい倒しましたね、はい
Yep. We got one warrior.
ウォリアーズ一人倒してます
Yep. All
あ
right.
そうニールが
Oh wait, we see Neil right
気づ
there.
かれてないんで撃っちゃい
And
ましょう
Neil's like
あ
looking
そう
away.
スト
So
ライ
let's use an assault rifle.
あでも見つかりま
Oh
した
wait,
ワープしますね、
he
はい
warped out.
大丈夫かなはい
All right. We gotta find him again.
Split them up. Take them one by one.
ウォリアーズ首がなくなると突進してくる
Yeah, you need to kind of do a headshot to the warriors to defeat them.
大丈夫かな
Well, he's doing good.
あちょっと逃げられまし
Wait, I think he
た
warped
タワーの上に
up at the tower.
でウォリアーズも
Yeah, and with warriors as
ま
well.
あどっから行ってもいいんですけど
Well, okay, where should we go? You could go anywhere, so
まあ花火に見とれてるとやられます
yeah, don't be too obsessed with the fireworks. You gotta find a route.
上にいますね
Okay, I think they're there.
グレネード
So we'll use a
グレネー
grenade.
ドでやっつけようというところですかはいはいはい
Oh, that's a nice shot.
はいちょっとせこい戦い方ですよねこれ
Yeah, this is not really cool, right? But it's okay.
ちょっとやばいかもしれません
Wait a minute. They kind of found him.
あ
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
ちょっと手こじってますね
All right,
やばいやばい
let's change weapons.
やばいですねおー
Oh, that was close.
ニールを
We need to get Neil though.
やばいやばい
Well, be careful.
やばいです
お
クリプト美容室もうやばいです
Cryptobite. Yeah, we need to take Cryptobite. Sorry for the life.
やばい
Well, you're in trouble.
よしよしよし
All right, good. I think we got him.
In defense of the guy playing, sometimes the setups at these events are really bad. So he might be having a hard time seeing. The lighting could be bad. The monitor could be far away from him. There could be input latency. Sometimes, I remember I played a racing game once at E3, and everything was like 2 seconds behind what I was actually doing. So that it's not always the best.
Eh, 逃げられましたんで
Well, I think we got him.
屋上に逃げましたっけ
And maybe he went somewhere. Oh, he went to the
はい
rooftop.
はいちょっと苦戦してますね彼はね
Well, Yoshiki is struggling.
AI なんでどこ行くかわからへんので
Because it's, AI. I don't know where they're going to go.
Might it be worth getting up close and personal with them?
まあタワーの上なんでちょっと積極的になると思います
Up the tower, so we're going to go find him.
That building they've garrisoned.
ショットガンありますか
Whoa,
ら
okay, we found a
まあ
shotgun.
接近戦ですね
All right, we're going to go close combat.
ちょっと荷物強いすぎですけど
Yeah, and maybe too much package on our back.
でサム声を出せるんで
And Sam could also
声をかけ
kind
て
of
おびき寄せたりもできます
make
けど
noises verbally, so to distract, the warriors or whoever.
呼んでますけど聞こえ
And you
て
could kind of call them. I think they're not hearing Sam yet, but let's try to call them so they'll come right at Sam.
いやいやはいショットガンはい
Oh, that's a nice shot.
ちょっと上から行きますね
Yeah, they're probably from above. Let's go above.
スモークを焚いて
We'll also might use a smoke grenade.
やばいやばいやばいですねこれ
Oh, so close.
Oh no.
This guy's missing a lot.
Uh-oh.
よっしゃ
Well, that was good. We got him.
Yes. Yoshige.
Oh, and Neil's right there. So we need to get Neil.
スモーク焚くとこっちも見えないんで
Well, the thing about smoke grenade is they can't see you, but we can't see them too.
で逃げました
All right, I think we got him.
で今度はどうするんですか
All right, what are we going to do? What are you doing?
これグレネードピストルという
It's called the grenade
ハン
pistol.
ドガンを入れ
So
る
it's
ホルスターがあるんで
like a
荷物に
handgun.
しなくても
So you don't have to package it. You could put it in your holster. So it's really good. A small
ちょ
gun.
っとせこい戦いが
Yeah, it's
Nice.
yeah,
これちょっとせこいですねこれ
yeah. It's a little cheating in a way. I mean, like not cool. It's not like how you really want to battle, but anyways. Oh no.
Oh.
近づくんですねはい
All right, we're gonna go different area.
おやニールさんはい
Yep, I think we got him.
Hi.
Okay, we'll change the shotgun.
はいジャンプいたいたはい
There he is. We're getting him.
また
Oh, he kind of warped out.
で
All right, where do we head
川
now?
の方にオドラデグで方向わかります
And you can actually check the Ultra deck to see where he is or he warped to. So we're gonna go in that direction.
ちょっと気をつけていきましょうね
All right, I think we know where he is.
はいピンを
Probably in the graveyard area.
もうニールしかいないと思うんで
And it's only now Neo. It's a face-off with the.
まだ見つかってない
Ah, there he is.
かわいそうに
Yeah, we could pour Neo. Oh, he warped away.
Get him.
どこ行ったのいたいた倒しました
Yes, we got him.
ちょっと危なかったですね
Oh, that was a close call.
Did he say nirvana? Is he implying this is some sort of realm for the enlightened?
Okay, up to here.
No more. What'd you guys think of that? I know it's never easy for creators.
Just you, chorus verses.
Yes.
See where you feel the most at ease.
Yes. So far away, I'll reach you.
Beautiful.
To the wilder, to the wilder, to the wilder you. But if you doubt and question what the future holds, remember there's no place you can't call home.
She's got such a sultry, like, deep. I did not expect that at all from her voice. That was really nice. Wow, she can really sing. Elle Fanning is a babe. She is a total babe. Jiminy Christmas. She is very talented. I did not expect that. Yeah, her fight scene was very, very cool. They recorded another song with just her for the vocals. Man, I gotta tell y'all, I think that's gonna compete. I actually think it's gonna be a tight race. It's gonna be a tight race. Expedition 33 had it in the bag until I watched that, and I was like, I don't know, dude. Hideo Kojima is gonna stand real tall. It is a face-off between that game and Expedition 33. And I think what's going to make it hard for Expedition 33 is that game, Death Stranding 2, is excellent in like every single category. Graphics, soundtrack, voice acting, writing, story. Like, this is what he's willing to show. Yeah, if he's willing to show that much, boys, good golly, he cooked. He cooked a dadgum Thanksgiving dinner, and it's all in one game. Like, good golly. Good golly. I think that might win. I honestly do. I think it might win because I think it's gonna check so many boxes. It's gonna be really hard for Expedition 33 to not win. Okay. No. A bunch of demos are hitting. Terminal Brigade is demo on Steam now. Anyway. Story and visuals. Yeah, I think Kojima's got the chops to unseat the media darling. I didn't thank Super Googly for his super chat. He said this is insane. And then Lifelo says Lono's not a black woman, but he's definitely a diva. This is totally true. There we go. A Switch 2 YouTube app is coming too. Google's confirmed it's working with Nintendo to get the YouTube app working on the Switch 2. That's pretty cool. Well, boys, it's been a great day, but we do have some work to do, and it's almost 2 o'clock, so we do need to actually go to the green room now, okay? We actually need to do it. So, YouTube, that means that the chat goes sub only. If you want to talk, you got to sub. Eventually, you will not be able to watch this segment without being a sub to the channel. That'll be a way for you to get extra content. You don't have YouTube on the Switch 1? I don't think so. All right, let me give you guys a link. All right, there's your green room link. YouTube, you know the drill. Thanks so much for being a member plus or a VIP. This is a segment just for you. You support the channel directly, and I greatly appreciate that. We continue to see that number hang out in the mid 500s, which is great. That means you're maintaining support. Continue to let folks know that the extra content's worth it, and we're fan funded. So this is, content that is for you because the channel's here because of you. So I'm going to go ahead and end The stream we extended. We watched some Death Stranding 2. It was a blast. But it's time to shift gears